Welcome back to Half Cut, the podcast where we get drunk and argue about pop culture. Today we're going to be doing a special kind of episode, probably a new segment where we watch a movie or check out a comic or play a video game or whatever, and we just review it. So we don't have a catchy name for this yet, but either way, I'm your host.
Critique. We agreed to call it a critique.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. It sounds classy.
Or even just talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over the movie or whatever we're doing today.
Like, I'm not a critic.
I know you're not. Your opinion doesn't matter, okay?
I mean, you're not a critic either.
My opinion's more valuable than yours from my perspective, all right?
Yeah,
so,
everyone's opinion is more valuable to themselves by everybody's perspective.
Either way, my name is Stefan. I am your host, and this is my co-host, Nick.
Hey.
Yeah, which we've acknowledged your presence. That's wonderful. So, same thing as we always do. Nick, what are you having to drink today? Are you drinking anything today or no?
I've got some what is it? Granny's peach tea from the movie here.
So a little nod to what we might possibly be talking about today. Are you actually drinking urine?
No. What?
That's kind of disturbing.
Why would you think that?
It's kind of gross, man.
You only thought of it.
You can be into whatever you're into, but let's just keep it off the podcast, okay?
Literally, the only one to bring up urine is you. And then you make like weird slurping sounds after.
Because I'm
this weird little bizarre fetish you got or something over there.
I'm drinking
What
wine.
are you drinking?
I'm drinking wine.
Is that urine? Oh, is that urine?
It's nice. Okay, I'm drinking a Merlot, nice wine.
Oh, yeah.
What are you actually?
Nutty.
Oh, fuck. That's a great start. All right, what are you actually?
I got a
are you
rum
drinking
and Coke.
anything?
I got a rum and Coke.
Classic.
Eight rum and Cokes in. I just finished Batman vs Superman.
We should just call it the Nikolai.
Every time this movie was dog shit.
Okay, either way, just to acknowledge to anybody listening, we are going to be doing Batman vs Superman today, the Ultimate Edition, Extended Edition, whatever you want to call it. So we got all the extra scenes. It's like a 3-hour long movie, and we have some very dissenting opinions going on today. So we're going to start off with kind of a plot rundown, which will take us, I have no idea how long. Nick is not excited for it, but he's not excited for anything because he's a horrible person.
I mean, I just watched this movie once. I don't want to.
I know. We both just finished watching the movie. Essentially, we did go to it together in the theater, and you seemed pretty chill with it. But I know after I left, you were probably just shitting all over it.
I mean, like it's like one of those turn your brain off and enjoy movies. Like, oh, Batman's got a shotgun. Oh, he's Brandon, dude. That's so fucking cool. Oh man, he just suplexed Superman. What a fucking badass.
So,
but like when you actually like look at it from like,
no, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get into that today.
Sure,
so we're gonna acknowledge and get all through this. I'm gonna argue at you. I'm gonna get unreasonably angry at your own opinion. But yeah. So my opinion on this film, just to start off, I enjoyed it. I really like it because I'm a big fan of these kind of things. So yeah. All right. And Nick, what is your overall opinion to start off on this film?
This movie's trash.
Oh.
Like, I think that
all right.
they found it in a dumpster.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna be a good person and acknowledge that your opinion is valid, even though it's wrong. But that's fine. That's fine. That's a controversial thing. Okay. So
no, it's not. The critics agreed with me that it was trash.
Okay.
The opposite of a controversial thing. It's very versal.
For me, it's pretty controversial. So,
sure. Okay.
So, yeah. So let's just do. I don't know if we want to do it quick. I want to just kind of get into this and see.
Do you want to just like break the movie up into like a couple parts or whatever? Like, hey, here's.
Well, I have it written down. I have like so many goddamn notes because I have a problem. Okay. I have literally. Holy
only
crap.
Problem I've got is I just watch this movie.
I have 10 pages of notes.
Jesus Christ. That's more thought than the creators of this movie put into it. So.
Well, I enjoyed this film. So anyway, okay. So if you can remember, because I watched the beginning of it a little bit ago, and then I restarted watching.
Oh, you started in the middle. Okay.
Yeah. So it was just a couple days ago, but so the film So we kick off with the classic origin of Batman, right? He's a little kid coming out of the movie theater with his parents. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is playing Thomas Wayne, who...
Is that Negan?
Yeah, it's Negan. And actually, I don't know her name, the actress, but she plays...
No, Negan's a guy.
I know. But the mom who plays Martha Wayne, she's... Right. Oh my god, I'm forgetting this. I haven't watched Walking Dead in a really long time. But she's in the show as well, so I thought that was kind of interesting that they're both...
It's a cool throwback.
Throwback, yeah. But we get the classic intro where they're walking through after the movie theater through an alley or just down the street. They get mugged. This version slightly differs.
His parents die, and
becomes
a vigilante. Boom. Okay.
No, hold on. I wanted to say that I thought it was an interesting slight deviation from the original story. Is that Thomas Wayne doesn't just like... It's not like an awkward interaction where he gets shot. It's like he tries to defend his family. Like he assaults the mugger, and the guy just guns him down, which is pretty shitty.
The shot where the pearls are around like the fucking what do you call that? The end of the gun, like the
hammer.
The hammer, I guess. Sure.
I guess.
And it fucking like when he shoots and it goes back and the pearls break is like the most awkward fucking garbage shot.
What? That is such a good shot.
Like, I see what they're going for, but like it's just so fucking dumb. Like, how does that even happen? And then after that, like the robber, was he a robber or was he like an assassin sent to kill them?
He's a mugger. His name is Joe Chill. Okay, it's a dumb name.
Sure.
I know, but let's just
look on his face like, whoa. She died?
Probably didn't want to kill the woman.
She shot her in the face.
Yeah, I know. Okay,
because the pearls were around the gun.
All right, you do notice that the scene is done mostly in slow motion, so it's not happening that slow, right? So
maybe it looks less awkward when it happens in like a second.
He's probably just a regular guy who's just trying to mug some people to get some money.
Yeah,
Thomas Wayne attacks
just trying
him.
to mug some people.
I know, just a regular Joe, just a regular Gothamite.
1% physically and metaphorically here, and they literally throw themselves onto his fucking gun. Like, what did he have?
He's just trying to get some money, all right, you know? But, okay, so the scene with Martha gets a little crazy. He shoots her in the neck. I think it's a really well-done shot. It looks really cool with the pearls and all that, and the hammer going back, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Like, I can appreciate what they were doing, but it just looks so awkward in practice.
But you're just an asshole, so you hate everything. So.
No, I just think it looks awkward. Like, I just watched that part, and I remember in theaters, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, some cool... Like, it's cool, right?
How's it awkward?
Just the way, like, the gun is and stuff, and how, like, because it's in slow-mo, it's like 5 seconds of the gun being, like, between the necklace and her neck, and just...
So you think it could have gone better if it was done, like, in normal speed? Kind of like in Batman
Maybe.
Begins?
Like, it might have been, like, it was over so quick that you didn't get to notice how awkward it looked. Like, them being that close and fumbling. Like, I get she was trying to protect her son and that kind of stuff, and it just looked awkward to me.
Because in Batman Begins, I think they did it pretty good as well. Because it was just, like, done in real time, and it happened really quick, and then they were just dead. So it was just kind of like the whole situation was just like, this wasn't supposed to happen, but it did.
Like, those tragic things... Sorry, keep going. Sorry.
No, that's all I was saying. I'm just like, it's a shitty moment that, like, this got out of hand really quick, and everybody reacted very poorly.
Yeah.
So, you know...
I'm personally a fan when tragic things happen, that they happen really quick. And it's shocking, and it's real, and it's... Because that's how things happen in real life, right?
Yeah, but I feel like this is like a memory of Bruce kind of thing, right? So he goes over it, like, over...
Whatever.
He goes over it over and over and over again in his head, so it's just like it's just a horrible nightmare situation, right?
He just goes over and over. It's like, how would the gun get there between the necklace? It doesn't make sense.
How did this all happen? You know?
What? The hammer fucking... That was the last, like, 2 centimeters of force needed to break the necklace?
Why didn't the guy shoot me?
Sense.
I know.
That doesn't make any sense. Why is he so shocked that he's
all right,
shot?
Are we really gonna go through this whole thing and be like, oh, this little moment where a gun pulled back a little bit and broke a necklace is gonna be...
I mean, they obviously made a big deal about it. I'm saying it's an awkward shot. Like, it's just awkward.
In the film where we have superhero godlike people flying around.
You say that like it's impossible. Like, oh, there's superhero godlike people flying around. They couldn't not make this look really awkward. Like it had to be.
I didn't think it looked awkward. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, let's just.
Either way, if she had shot her and the bullet hit the necklace and it fucking broke, like that's the same fucking end result with the pearls scattering and shit that everybody jerks off over, and also doesn't look incredibly awkward. Is all I'm saying.
All right, it's you're right. You're right to have an opinion on that. So
yeah,
that's great. Okay, so sure. After that whole scene, we can move on to the scene from Man of Steel, where Zod and Superman are fighting in Metropolis, but it's from the perspective of Bruce Wayne, which I find is one of the best scenes in the film. Because you get kind of a ground, kind of just a regular human being version of what occurred during that big struggle.
In Man of Steel, like, did it just happen really quick? Like, oh, this thing came out of the sky, boom, and shooting a laser, fuck, everything's done. Or was it like there was some startup there, like at 10 minutes, it was fucking charging up really blatantly type of thing? I honestly can't remember.
What do you mean, like the whole terraformer
device? Thing?
That thing... I'm pretty sure in the original Man of Steel, I haven't watched that in a while, but it was going on for a little bit. So we had like the fight at the Kent farm, I believe, where it all kicked off. They had a fight in IHOP for some fucking stupid reason, and I know it's
actually IHOB now.
Okay, all right, Nick.
No, they did. No, dude, they changed it from pancakes to burgers.
I don't want to.
Like I'm not even fucking right now.
All right, I don't care. I don't care. All right.
You obviously cared enough to make a fucking mention of it just now. So
we're gonna be doing this for a while today.
Really, Stefan? Okay, so the fact that it was a superhero movie with superheroes, and the thing you're picking out is that it took place in an IHOP. Okay, that's wow.
Okay, so moving on, the fight eventually between the three Kryptonians and Superman eventually gets to Metropolis. Everything goes crazy. We have the two terraforming devices. We have the one sent in Metropolis, which is just destroying the city, as well as the fight with Zod and Superman. That's all going on. Lots of shit's happening. Okay, we have another terraforming device in India, I believe, or over the Indian Ocean. So that's a thing. And a lot of stuff is happening. But the part with Bruce Wayne showing up is kind of near the end of that fight. It's where everything's kind of finishing up. So what you see with that, the plane hitting the terraforming device, right? That's with, I can't remember, he was some kind of colonel or general. Sure. He was in the plane, and Feora, I think her name was. She was one of the Kryptonians.
Oh yeah, she was the girl one.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But they crash into that, they destroy that thing, and then the fight with Zod and Superman is just coming to its climax. So the part I thought was kind of dumb in this whole scene. Like, I get it. The reason Bruce is kind of there is because he has part of the Wayne company in Metropolis, and his it's like his uncle, I think it is. It might be a great uncle or somebody else. Yeah, he's running that segment of Wayne.
Is he a dick?
In the comics, it's kind of all over the place. I'm not sure exactly which character this is, but there is a version of his family that is kind of a douchebag who's like working with criminals. And it's kind of like year one Batman, but
okay.
The thing I don't like about it is like you have this intense fight with these godlike beings just wrecking this city up, and these people are still in this building.
Okay, same fucking thing. So when I watched that scene, and he's on the phone with his uncle, I guess. And the uncle is just like looking out the window, and there's the fucking terraformer device with the blue laser going off. And he's got like this look on his face, like, huh? Like,
I've never expected that. Like,
what is this bullshit? Like,
and it keeps doing like this weird like pulse thing where it shoots the thing of energy out into the city. And then
like the way he's like, okay, boss says everybody else, guys, guess we're gonna evacuate.
Oh shit! I never thought of this.
Whew, I wanted to keep working through this, but Mr. Wayne, he cares about us, so The janitor will come with the key to unlock you from your desks, and
guys, it's still a weekday. We still got shit to do. Okay, let's get back to work.
Got deadlines. It's crunch time, people. I don't care who's forming terrors out there.
Like I do acknowledge that it is a dumb scene. Like I don't understand why they're even still there. Like they should all be out of that building and just running. And the fact that Bruce Wayne is like
been in a basement or something of that building.
Yeah.
And then Bruce made the executive decision, like, oh, this is going to go fucking sideways real quick. That building is going to collapse. You need to get out of there,
And you know what?
Nothing would have changed.
What could have worked to get the whole, we got the inside scene with the old man. You see the laser shooting out from Superman and Zod's fight, right? So that looked really cool, even though the whole scene was a little weird. What you could have done with that, I think, is you could have what you said, have everybody down in like a bunker or in the basement or something. But you could have the old man like upstairs being like, well, I'm not sure if everybody's out yet. And he's just kind of an idiot, right? So it's just like, well, he's just checking to make sure somebody is safe. Kind of thing, like everybody's gone, and then he just gets caught up and he dies. So it's a shitty thing, but could have been slightly altered, but whatever. It's not a huge impact in this overall film, so I guess it doesn't really matter, even though it is kind of dumb. But either way,
it's real dumb.
We got that cool scene with Bruce Wayne just running into the smoke where everybody else is running out. You know, when the building collapses. Do you remember the part? Okay, so that. It's pretty cool. He saves that little girl. It's pretty awesome because he's awesome and he's Bruce Wayne. We get to see
the building off of him, but he can't feel his legs no more. Is that not his name? Wally?
I don't remember his name.
I'm 90% sure his name is Wally.
He's not Wally West.
It's at no point did I say it was Wally West. I said,
well, there's only like one character in DC named Wally, and that's Wally West. So
I seriously just watched this movie like fucking 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I just watched this movie like 10 minutes ago.
You just said you started in the middle.
You know what, Nick?
There's like it was either Billy or Wally. And he's helping. He's like, hey, you're Wally, right? Like he was supposed to show that, like, you know, he knows his employees, even though he's the big CEO and shit.
Wayne wouldn't say Wally. He would say like Wallace.
This movie definitely doesn't have plot points or anything with characters having the same name. So I think you're right. It's definitely not Wally, because that would be just fucking absolutely stupid to have two characters in the same movie have the same name, dude.
We're gonna have
just
a hard
unreal
time getting through this.
Just the dumbest fucking thing.
It took me a moment to acknowledge what you were just saying, and I'm really mad. Okay. I have a lot to say about that later on. But either way, okay.
I'm sure you do.
Let's move through this beginning. So that's pretty cool, or not cool, whatever you think. The city got fucked up, which I don't care what people online are really saying. They're blah, 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 blah. We talked about this in an early episode.
Are you going to bring up a lot of people online stuff?
I am. I'm angry at the internet, okay?
Dude, okay.
Yikes. But this shit happens in the comics, okay?
So maybe what are people upset about here?
A lot of people say it's like a deviation of the comic source. Okay, like
That's
Superman wouldn't do this. I know it is, okay, but Superman doesn't do this, or Batman doesn't act that way. But they're always like quoting like Superman doesn't kill people, or Batman doesn't kill people. And it's like, can we just, if you're gonna
cite, here he does.
In this version, he does. Okay, I don't know if it's a more realistic world, but it's a more modern.
Comic book fans literally had like there was tons of alternate universe where sometimes people are different in them.
There's different it's called the Elseworlds, which they might be getting into in the future, but there's different versions of these characters. Shut up, man. Some of this stuff is really cool. Okay?
I'm sure it is.
But that is such a dumb argument, I find. Like, Superman in the comics has been known to kill people. Cities get wrecked all the time. The world is constantly being destroyed and brought back. And Batman... Okay, this I find kind of dumb. It's the whole... In this film, Batman has kind of a penchant to kill people. He shoots bad guys, or he doesn't save people, whatever. Or save bad guys from dying.
I'm going to shoot you with this gun, and I'm not going to save you from the bullet. Boom.
Yeah,
I'm not a murderer.
Exactly. But, he's an older Batman. He's done all this shit before, and it's just kind of like he doesn't care anymore. And it's weird because a lot of people online, they don't like the fact that Joker is still alive. Like, I don't like the fact that
Joker's still alive? Joker hasn't even been in the fucking movie.
No, I know, but in Suicide Squad, he's kicking around. But like,
is that linked? Is that?
Of course, Batman shows up in that movie. You dumbass. But Joker, this has always been a complaint, is that Batman doesn't kill the Joker.
Right.
He's done so much shit. He's killed people in the Batman family.
Yeah, why hasn't
Batman killed so many other people? I don't know why he hasn't killed the Joker per se, but in general, it's like, why doesn't Batman take more of an extreme measure in these situations? And this movie's just kind of like, well, he is now. He's doing that. This is the thing you people wanted, and now you're bitching about it?
I feel like the movie, and I mean, I could be totally off base here because I didn't really think about it while watching the film, but I feel like the Batman in this movie is very much like an ends justifies the means kind of guy. And in a lot of Joker's stuff, he orchestrates something where Batman's got to, defuse a bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, it's not like, oh, I've got to kill Joker so he doesn't press that button or do this thing. A lot of it, I foiled his plan. I'm going to take him in, that kind of thing. Like, he's not executing people. He's killing people to achieve an immediate goal.
Yeah, because it's a current situation. Like this dude's shooting people. If I don't
kill this person, he's going to kill something else, or something worse is going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of a reactionary measure to the immediate situation that is occurring.
Exactly. It's not like I'm going to kill this guy because he did this thing and it's justice. It's I'm going to kill this guy because if I don't, he's going to kill this other guy.
Which makes sense, I think. Because it's like this dude's running around with a gun, he's shooting a bunch of people or whatever the hell, and Batman just takes him down. Like with
it does and it doesn't, for sure. That vigilantism is a nuanced topic.
Yeah, it's a nuance, actually. I'm pretty sure we discussed this earlier, so it's not a big deal. But all right, let's move on. So we got that whole thing, big flashback. It cuts 18 months. We get the Lois Lane in the desert scene. We get to meet Jimmy Olsen, famous buddy of Superman, who's always kind of a nerdy guy with a bow tie.
Jimmy's not there, isn't he?
No, hold on. So this character in the comics has always been kind of like just a dumbass who's just a buddy of Superman. And in this version, he is a special CIA agent.
So I thought weren't they like, Jimmy's delayed at the border, so I'm your new photographer? Is that not, did I understand that scene?
I don't remember that exact. I thought he said something like your regular photographer was delayed. I'm Jimmy Olsen. I'm your new photographer
I thought it was
today.
Jimmy Olsen's delayed. I'm your new photographer today. The super secret spy.
That would have been amazing, and I'm pretty sure that's not what occurred. But I really hope it is. But I'm pretty sure there's a moment in like a minor
thing
where they acknowledge that he is Jimmy Olsen, and then he gets shot in the face because we have that tracking device, and he gets acknowledged. But I found that kind of dumb. Like I wish it was just like. It doesn't really matter. Who cares if Jimmy Olsen's dead? I think it would have been better if that was just a code name and there is maybe a real Jimmy Olsen running around, but it doesn't really matter. Who gives a shit?
No.
Like, he's dead. The one thing I do have a problem with is, like, why would you make a tracking device that has, like, a blinking red light on it?
Yeah, that's a
Do you know what I mean? Like, he opens the camera stuff, he breaks that stuff all out. KGB, the bad guy, he's a... KGB agent or KGB, it doesn't matter. He's a bad guy. And he opens it up and there's like this little device in it that could literally be anything. But then it's like it's got this red blinking light, which everybody knows is like, oh, that's a tracking device. Like that's
I feel like there's enough like shit on camera equipment that you could have something with a red blinking light on there somewhere and be like, oh yeah, that's the AR tracker or some shit.
Yeah, but not that thing. It just looks like a tracking device.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it does. I mean, it's such a minor plot point.
But yeah, no, you're right. They could have something. If you're gonna have a red blinking light, you could have it on any other portion of the camera. Like just a little like recording device icon, like where that blinks or something. Like that could be.
Yeah, again, such a minor nitpick that it's not worth.
But it does. It's a thing that does kind of show up later on. But I always find that weird in movies where they're like, wouldn't you, if you're designing a tracking device that's supposed to be, the entire point of it's supposed to be hidden, like, would you make it have a blinking red light?
I think in a lot of the parts with the movies, they'd want the audience to know that it's a tracking device, too.
Yeah,
so
I think
it look like a generic tracking device. And say, hey, that way Joe Schmo, who didn't see Man of Steel, so he's still going to this movie, he doesn't know that the franchise is dog shit. Right. Well, maybe not. Doesn't matter.
Maybe yes.
He can say, oh, yeah, that's a tracking device when it appears on the screen. I feel like this whole scene, though, I don't know if I'm just, like, wasn't paying attention or I'm a dumb fuck idiot, but, like, I seriously don't understand what happened. And, like, the consequences of that and all that stuff.
Okay, so...
Like, I get that they go into this weird political side plot, and I want to say that nothing happened.
Okay, there is parts that make sense. Okay, so I'll do this really quick. So Lois Lane goes to talk to a current terrorist in some foreign country. Right. She wants to interview him.
He's like an African warlord, and he's, she's got a scoop and whatever.
Sure. Let's go there. But she wants to interview this guy for the Daily Bugle. The CIA has other plans, so they bring Jimmy Olsen in, so they do all this stuff. It goes wrong. She gets taken. They think she has something to do with it. They might possibly kill her. And then Superman, because he's in love with Lois Lane, and in the comics, it's kind of all over the place with this, but sometimes it's the fact that he can hear her heartbeat over other people's, because he just, like, he loves her, so he focuses on that. Right. So he's just keeping an eye on her. So, like, he would know that she's doing this. But anyway, he's trying to make sure she's okay. So Batman eventually, or Superman.
So wait, like, he just knows, like, her heartbeat increased? So he just, like, shows up?
It is a thing that shows up later in the movie. So
she's watching a scary movie on a Saturday night, and he just fucking bursts through the fucking walls.
He rips through her apartment complex, and he's just like, "You okay?" And she's like, "Shit, man, you can't keep fucking doing this."
Security deposit right there. Fucking idiot.
But yeah, so the
sure, Superman shows up, saves
him. He shows up to save it, but then there's this whole other thing where they have these other people, these mercenary-looking guys, KGB guys. They start shooting all the terrorists. So you're kind of like, what the hell is going on? So that whole plot is used to be kind of like Lex Luthor hired these individuals to make it look like Superman killed them.
And I mean, I don't know if we want to get into this right now, but the mercenaries shoot these fucking terrorists with a super special bullet that only LexCorp makes, and it's like, why would you do this? That's like absolutely one of the most retarded plot points I can imagine.
I acknowledge that. That is really dumb. I don't know why you would do that. Why wouldn't you just buy regular ammunition? It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to cover your bases, maybe Lex Luthor is super cocky, and he doesn't think that anyone's going to see that, but seriously, just use regular ammo. It's not a big deal. But
apparently it is.
They light the bodies on fire to make it look like Superman used his super heat vision, to like melt them and stuff. And he saves Lois and yada yada yada. So that all occurs. So then we, I can't remember the exact beginning of this film.
Wow, maybe you should have rewatched it.
Like I did.
Someone who cares about this podcast.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, what happened next? What occurred next, Nick?
I'm pretty sure it goes to the hearing.
It doesn't. What?
Or is it the bathtub?
Go to the hearing. That's like way later. Yeah, we do have a sweet bathtub scene where Superman's like, "I don't give a shit about my clothes," and then he just rails Lois in that bathtub.
Just right in the bathtub.
It's a nice bathtub. I just gotta acknowledge that. Like a good bathtub.
It's like a cool old clawfoot one, if I remember right.
Yeah. I like those. Those are really cool. They're big, spacious. You can have lots of good superhero sex in those.
Right.
So we cut back to. Oh yeah. Okay. So it goes into the whole scene with Batman fighting criminals, and the cops show up. Right?
Oh, that's right. There's like the slaves or whatever in the bottom. Like all those women, and they're like, "He's still here. It's the devil saved us."
I thought that was an interesting scene. Some of that was like, okay, you're hamming this up. It's clearly just a dude in a costume, but whatever. And it was interesting to show that Batman has such an effect, kind of like a mythic presence in Gotham, so people don't really know if he is real or if he's just like this idea. But the part that I thought was really dumb, and I do have to say this, is when Batman is hiding in the corner of the room. That is, it looks really stupid. It's just...
There's a lot of scenes with Batman where he looks absolutely incredibly out of place. Like,
I get what they're doing, but it's like, this doesn't work with him.
No,
not this version.
It doesn't. He's like 8 feet tall, built like a fucking brick house, and...
It could have worked if you had, like, the lighting off, like, no lights in the room. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe if it was darker and you didn't, like, just sit on him for a couple seconds, just kind of like, hey... like, what's up? I don't know why I did this, but that was a little weird. So so then we're getting to see kind of the daily lives of each character. Superman goes to meet Lois, as we stated. He has sex in a bathtub. It's really cool. We get to see Alfred in this movie is played by Jeremy Irons, who in this film, to me, is one of the best characters in this movie. I love. He's just kind of
not a hard bar or high bar at all.
Shut up.
It's like the lowest bar.
He's a smarmy douchebag who's just really funny, and he's like an engineer and like all this shit. So,
rank Alfreds right now. Rank Alfreds.
I like Jeremy Irons. For me, Jeremy Irons is my favorite Alfred. Michael Caine is really good, but he's kind of like a.
I feel like Michael Caine is the quintessential Alfred.
All right, if we're gonna go with the old British butler Alfred, who's just kind of like, Bruce, you shouldn't do this. Like, yeah, okay, it's pretty good. But
I mean,
you need an Alfred that can do everything. All right, you need an Alfred who can serve you breakfast, who can fix the Batmobile. All right, who can give you shitty advice that's possibly really condescending. You know, you need it all. All right, so that's where you get Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
All right, he looks like a guy who could probably kill people too. So that's fun. You know,
Michael Caine could kill people. He was in the fucking like SIS or some shit.
Was he?
Yeah, he literally talks about that fucking thing with the jewel where he was like, raiding like find the jewel in the African.
Yeah, but did you ever see anything that could be implied that Alfred could do that in those films?
The fact that he did it, the fact that he was talking about doing it.
That's the classic argument of show don't tell, right? Like
he's like a million years old now.
Exactly. Jeremy Irons pretty close to that age as well.
Do a flashback with a fucking CGI 30s Michael Caine with this fucking African village with the jewel?
Just an 80-year-old Michael Caine just beating the shit out of people?
There was a movie where Michael Caine is like a war vet and he's like living in a shitty part of London and his like veteran friend gets killed by like a bunch of punk kids, like the drug gang, and then he
remember that
all of them, and it was fucking rad. So I literally could imagine him fucking
it's like Harry
throwing
Brown
down
or something.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Harry
Brown. That sounds about right.
I remember that, but I don't see. I'd say Jeremy Irons to me. I just like the version of Jeremy Irons. I thought he was funny. He was kind of a dickhead. Michael Caine is great in his own right. I'm acknowledging that. I'm not saying he's worse.
Okay, sure. I just think that. You know, I also like. I guess maybe I just like the animated series better more than you. With that Alfred.
Hold up.
What?
Excuse me? You like the animated Batman series more than me?
Yeah, I mean, just with the Alfred thing, dude. Yeah, like it's cool you like Jeremy Irons. That's fantastic, dude. He's a great actor. But to me, Alfred's always that prim, proper British guy from the animated series, and.
Okay. I like.
This is definitely a cool spin. I don't. It's not like I dislike this Alfred. I just I feel like Michael Caine is the Alfred to me.
You know what he was missing, and both Alfreds are actually missing this, which kind of bothers me. If you want to go in like a classic aspect,
right?
They didn't have the mustache.
I feel like it's a different time. Not a lot of mustaches in general around anymore. Beards are in for sure.
Still think it could have worked,
I'm sure it could have, but we'll never know.
The thing I really like, I guess I don't know, it's just me, but I really like seeing alternate versions of certain characters.
I think it's cool. Like I definitely respect the Jeremy Irons one. Like I think it's a cool version. I think it fits what they're trying to do with, this cinematic universe for sure.
Because in the comics, you do have kind of a. We're gonna get off Alfred here. We've been talking about him for way too long, but
you keep going.
You do tend to have the two versions. You have the prim and proper Alfred, who's kind of mostly a butler, and then you have the heavy military trained kind of I raised Bruce to be a fighter kind of a guy.
Right, and Michael Caine was both of them, which is why he's the best. Okay, moving on.
All right, moving on. Okay, so what do we have next? I just did want to say I did like the fact that they showed the voice modulator for Batman. I like that better than cool. The Christian Bale, like, where's Rachel? Kind of weird little voice thing he did. So I like the voice mod. I thought that was really cool. Okay, so then we cut to Lex introduced, Lex Luthor, where he's kind of a younger Lex Luthor, one that you don't really expect. He's got hair, which is weird. He's Lex Luthor Jr., so he runs his father's company. I think his dad's dead. I don't really know if they.
Yeah, I think they
said
do.
That.
Like I think a lot of the times he doesn't outright say like, "Yep, he calls himself an orphan," for sure.
Oh, okay, okay. So in the comics, there are moments where it is kind of maybe implied that Lex Luthor killed his own parents by like cutting.
Is that what happened in Smallville?
I've never watched Smallville, so I don't know, and I don't care. That show is garbage. So
okay.
yeah, dissenting opinion. So
you've never watched it, but it's garbage.
I'm gonna say it's garbage. I've seen parts of it. That's
by
all
its
I
cover
need.
Here. Okay.
That's all I need. And I'm gonna say something that is controversial, and a lot of people do not agree with. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, lay it on me, dude.
You ready for this?
Yep.
I like this version of Lex Luthor.
It's a cool version. Okay, so is this our Lex Luthor fucking power hour here? Where we talk about Lex Luthor? Okay.
Let's get into it.
So I like this version with like kind of like the mental tics and like obviously some mental illness.
Yeah,
I feel like
he's got something wrong.
Yes, definitely. I feel like he's a really shitty villain. I think the best villains are always the ones where, you can empathize with them a little bit and their point of view and what they're trying to achieve. And here they kind of start that off with the like, man, who's going to control Superman type of thing. Like he doesn't answer to anybody, and like which I think is a really cool way to take that. But he's also just does incredibly evil shit all the time.
Like you need a deterrent for a guy who's a god, basically.
Right, like the stuff he's saying on the surface makes sense. Like I can see his point of view, but then he just like with all the murder and the framing and the like all of it just it's like you have this this point of view that could cause conflict between both Batman and Superman and lead to them, fighting and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they could definitely there's a universe, an Elseworld where that movie exists and it's fantastic. Where Lex Luthor is a nuanced character, right.
Those new ants. Okay, go on.
No, they're old ants. I've had them for a while now.
We're not talking about this.
Okay. Where Lex Luthor, like where he has a justifiable belief and he's doing the things that he believes in without being evil and trying to make sure that the world is prepared for either another Superman that goes Superman going rogue or doing something that they need to put him down, or another superhuman appearing where they need to have an option. And
which makes sense. I understand that on the surface, like you're saying. So,
and I could 100% see like Batman's point of view there as well. But just Lex Luthor goes about it in like the most evil, autistically evil fucking way. That like it just blows my mind that they couldn't come up with a script where he wasn't an absolute piece of garbage.
Well, see, I think that kind of it works and it doesn't work. Where Lex Luthor is in the comics, in the show, in anything, he's always been kind of like, I'm the smartest man in the room. I'm the greatest. I'm amazing. And if anybody shows that they are above me, things become a problem for me. Like that's where the whole Superman thing becomes a problem for Lex, because Lex he's got all the money. He's like the smartest guy ever. And then suddenly there's this superhuman guy that none of that matters because he's just a god. And that it fucks with his head. So of course he's going to start doing some weird ass shit.
It just feels like he demonizes Superman for no reason other than he is like a new species or some shit.
See, I don't think he actually cares that much. Like I don't think he really
like there's that scene with the painting where he's talking to this is a bit later.
I know, but no, sorry, go on.
That scene with the painting where he's like, we both know that the real devils come from above, and it's like, you don't even know this guy. Like, how do you hate him so much? Like, I can understand being like, hey, in case some bad shit happens, we probably want to have an ace in the hole. Versus he wants to kill Superman for what I can tell is absolutely no reason.
But that's the thing. Like, I think for when all those scenes that show that he's trying to say that is that it's Lex Luthor trying to justify his opinion to people that are around him, where in his head, he doesn't actually care about any of that. He's just like, I just want to kill this dude.
Why
but
I need him
dude? Because he just needs to make sense of it. Yeah, because he needs to be better than him.
So when someone like has a better score on the SAT than him, he just fucking like shows up at their house at night and just bullet in the head.
He'll hire like 30 mercenaries to go to their house and just light it on fire. Like that's just it. Lex Luthor is a petty man. That's kind of his character.
I feel like they do a really bad job of portraying that.
Yeah, I can see that.
The comic background and shit like that. Like he just seems like a dude that hates Superman. Like it's like the old fucking J. Jonah Jameson fucking Spider-Man shit where he just hates Spider-Man. He just hates Spider-Man for like absolutely no reason. Like I don't know why that dude hates Spider-Man, but he fucking does. And I don't know why Lex Luthor hates Superman so much, but he does. And there's that weird candy scene where he puts the fucking Jolly Rancher.
Oh man, I have that actually. I have that written.
So fucking weird. And
in my notes.
Like, the guy doesn't do anything. He's not like, "Whoa, bro, what are you doing?" He's
just like, yeah.
Candy go into his
mouth.
Like,
I love cherry. Cherry's my favorite flavor.
It's such a weird scene that I'm not sure why they did something, like
it's
why
just,
it exists.
It's just trying to push that Lex Luthor is kind of not on. He's not normal. He's a little.
And I can get him
there.
not being normal, but like just the way the senator just like takes it, it's so weird. And I don't know if it's like some symbolism of like Lex Luthor showing that he controls, how powerful it is that he controls the government.
Yeah.
By literally feeding this old senator man. Which
maybe that's the kind of the point. Like he's got all the money, he can control anything, so they'll just take what he gives them. Maybe that's kind of the thing they were trying to get across. But I can see where people just wouldn't acknowledge that or wouldn't notice that. And a lot of Lex Luthor, the stuff that you do need to like, you don't need to see it, but it helps if you know the comic books. And if you're not a comic fan, this stuff doesn't really.
But at the same time, like there's like the help. It helps to know the comic book stuff. But they're obviously doing their own thing here, especially. Mm-hmm. With Batman killing people and Superman killing people, and just different ways to take the character. It's hard to say, okay, are they taking Lex in a different way, which they obviously are, in like the nervous mental tics and stuff, and also saying, well, you also need to have some comic background in order to make sense of this, though.
Yeah. It was kind of a mishmash of a lot of stuff that it can be very confusing for a lot of people, and I can see that. I acknowledge that. To me, I've had a ton of experience in this area, as cool as that is, because I've been reading comics since I was a little kid. So this stuff just works for me. But I can see the general audience, the majority of the people that watch this, they don't care or give a shit about any of that stuff that happens.
It's just weird to me to hold those 2 points of view where on one hand you're saying, well, this is different than the comic books, buddy. This is a different Batman. And then also say, yeah, well, because I read the comics, I know that Lex Luthor, this, and this.
No, but that's one of the things I'm saying is that I have read the comics, so I do understand.
But those two things are at odds with each other.
No, I know. I'm trying to say that I like the fact that this is a different Lex Luthor. Like I don't need to be like, well, Lex Luthor to me is this super awesome bald guy who's just assertive and always perfect in everything he's done.
8 feet tall. He's got a robot suit.
Yeah, that suit is really dumb. Why wouldn't you build a helmet? But either way. I like this version of Lex Luthor. And that's the thing that I find a lot of the fans that bitch about this series, they're always acknowledging is that, like, it's not the comic book Lex Luthor. It's like, you can see that version. You can acknowledge that he exists, but this isn't him. So let's notice the difference and just move on. Okay?
I like the character. The motivations are so fucking bad. Like, he's just a bad villain.
They didn't really explain that a lot. Like maybe it could be part of his like he's mentally unbalanced and possibly he just has a problem with this guy, but they never really go into that and delve into it to state it to the audience to make it more easy for people to understand. I almost
wish, like in my own again like Elseworld universe here, that Lex Luthor's father had died in that attack, and he's got a Batman parallel there where he's also avenging his parents, and
that
would have been fucking
perfect.
Fantastic, and would have explained his hatred for Superman. It just
like you could have had that over the whole Batman uncle scene because you could just have Superman destroy the Wayne Enterprise building and have a bunch of people die, which Batman would be upset about. You could literally
have Lex Luthor there to meet with like a partnership or something, like to partner on.
Oh my god, that would have been great. You could have like a possible discussion about
party,
fusing the companies.
Talked about, Lex could have been like, yeah, how about we, rekindle that project we were working on a few years ago or something, like there's so.
That would have made
better
so much
ways
more
they could have
sense.
taken. Yeah, and this again, like, oh my god, I feel like you just had an epiphany because that's exactly my problem with this movie. Is there's a world where this movie is good, and we don't live in that world because there's so many fucking things that are just bad.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I can see that. See, that's the thing about this movie and a lot of movies. You could always just sit down. I don't know what I'm trying to defend here. You could always just. You can always make a better movie out of any film.
Right.
Okay.
But this one feels like egregiously so. Like, it's easy to point and say, like, well, in Infinity War, maybe some more focus on some of the space stuff would have made me enjoy it a bit more. But, like, this, it's just, like, we haven't had a scene yet where it's been like, yeah, this was just, in general, a really good scene.
I have a couple of those, but
I'm saying we're 40 minutes into the movie, and we haven't had one of those.
We're probably 15 to 20 minutes into the film, so...
I'm literally looking at the scene right now where he puts the Jolly Rancher in the mouth, and I've only got half an erection, and it's 37 minutes in. So...
You can't do this. You got me like over a barrel here.
Yeah,
like I can't.
You wanted to do Batman vs Superman. You're like, hey, I like this movie. You don't. How about we do Batman vs Superman?
All right, everybody. So we are 37 minutes into a 3-hour plus movie. So let's try to move on. All right, we have a lot to discuss about.
There's a lot of dog shit left.
All right, yeah, I love that. I'm keeping calm. I'm not losing my shit. So anyway, we get to this kind of an odd scene with Batman where he has that whole man-bat nightmare scene.
The CGI for fucking that bat is so fucking bad.
You know what? I think the movie could have been better if we just didn't have that scene.
It doesn't belong. It
doesn't add anything to the scene. Like, we get it. Like, Batman is troubled by his past. That's every Batman. Everybody knows this. Mm-hmm. We don't need this weird CGI scene. I do love the fact that I don't know if it's even a fact, but it could just be whatever. That it could be Man-Bat. It could be a reference to Man-Bat, but it's never given enough time or anything to delve into it. So I feel like this scene just doesn't work.
Doesn't belong.
Cut that out. Yeah. Just cut it out. It was weird. I have written here, Lex is weird.
He does that scene with the fucking Granny's peach tea and the painting and shit.
Oh, that happens there? Okay, yeah. So that was an interesting interaction between two individuals who are very steadfast and stubborn about their beliefs. I really like Holly Hunter, who is the Senator Finch.
So was that her real accent?
I
dislike it, and I'm not sure if she's putting on like a southern accent or if that's her real. Like, I don't. I've never spoken to someone from the South, so I don't know if that's like if it really.
She has a lot of random quotes and like things that she says that are just like there's a moment later on when she's going into the hearing and she's like, "I was born on a farm. I'm used to wrestling with a pig," and it's like, okay,
yeah, the movie very much like makes apparent that she is from fucking the South.
Yeah. So I like and I don't like the fact that she made that Granny's peach tea comment. I thought that was kind of interesting, but then at the same time, it's really kind of weird.
It's just such a weird metaphor to pull out in this fucking the middle of that little argument.
But if anybody doesn't know, I don't know if you know this, but Holly Hunter, she plays Mrs. Incredible.
Okay, I thought you were gonna do like some like. If anyone doesn't know, Holly Hunter does have like this weird urine fetish.
She does. She gets really.
She's gone on record.
A lot of videos, and it's.
They call it waterworks, wetworks.
It's pretty hot. No, it's not. That's really disturbing. I don't want to.
It's really gross. Yeah.
I like Holly Hunter.
Okay, so there's a million.
I might be getting her name wrong. Just FYI, I think her name is Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you nailed it, bud.
I really hope I'm getting that right. What were you gonna say?
There's a million metaphors for like fool me once, fool me twice, like being fooled and deception and shit like that in proverbs. And she like does this weird, awkward Granny's peach tea and it piss thing that like it feels like they started at the scene.
South. She's stubborn. Sure. She's an intense individual. She's got her position for a reason. So like, that's who she is. All right.
Right.
Like, you can shit on a character all you want because you just don't like them, but that's just what they are, alright? You don't have to like everybody. Let's just acknowledge that. That might come back and bite me in the ass, and whatever. Doesn't matter. But, I get what you're saying. It is really weird. So, I believe the scene then goes to the, what is it again? I don't remember exactly what this is, but it's like a party with Lex Luthor.
Library, I think. Because they reference like kids reading a lot.
It's some kind of gala
charity party for a
right. Yeah,
it's like a charity party for a library, I think. Books.
So that gives us the very first interaction between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, which is pretty cool. It's a little weird that Clark's like, "Who's that?" and the guy's like, "Oh, that's Bruce Wayne." The richest, most famous human being on Earth, basically. And Clark's like, "Oh yeah."
If you're in a fake career as a journalist, it feels like some current events or something like you would have heard that name or seen that man before.
Oh, okay, I have a side little thing I want to say, and I've written this for later on, but I feel like it works here as well.
Right. Okay.
I feel like Clark Kent shouldn't exist. Like, Clark Kent being Superman, I get that, but the whole fact that he is a journalist, that he spends his days working at this job, is pointless. Like,
it doesn't make sense. I feel like he does it to be close to Lois Lane. I feel like he's got a crush on her or whatever, like loves her enough that he wants to.
She's not going to leave him. Like,
no,
is he worried?
So if you loved someone enough that you spent, say, all your free time with them.
Yeah.
Would the next step not be spending all your working time with them as well? While they're at a job?
But okay,
I don't know.
A big problem with Superman in the comics and the movies is the fact that he can't save everybody. He doesn't have enough time to save people. So he's
busy
shown
with
in
his
this
job,
film,
dude.
That's the thing. He's shown in this movie flying around, doing his shit, saving lives. But it's like, why would he even care? Why would you even waste your time doing this 9-to-5 job? Just save lives.
He's got to fucking get a college fund.
You've got to pay for your rent. Who gives a shit about the rent? If you really need to, if you really want to be the hero that saves the world, just live on the Kent farm or go live in the Fortress of Solitude.
But he loves Lois.
He can see Lois anytime he wants. He's a superhuman being that can fly across the world.
So you want Superman to live with his mother?
Yeah. That would be fine.
Like,
I don't give a
fucking
shit.
Second scene of the movie is Clark Kent getting tucked into bed, age 38.
Oh my god. That would be so good.
And she says, "Night, Clark." And he goes, "Night, Ma."
She's just sitting there. And she's like reading him a story for bed.
And
he's like, Mom, you forgot the nightlight. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Clark." And she just turns it on, and it's like, "Night, sweetie." That would be amazing.
A fucking distress signal goes on, dude. And the fucking school bus, again, is almost falling. And there's no time to get changed. I gotta go. And he shows up in these fucking PJ. All the school kids start laughing at him. And then...
As he's saving their lives?
No, he goes, "I don't have to save you." And then just fucking... Boom,
he just flies away and lets us around.
And the fucking little poop slots of his PJs flapping in the wind.
Okay, I do have to say we're kind of in a tangent here, but we're just gonna keep digging this hole. The Kents are terrible at giving advice. Okay, Pa Kent, I don't even remember. Jonathan Kent, there we go. He has the worst advice I've ever seen, and I don't like that. He's just dead. You need to let those kids die, or you need to be safe. And I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to keep his son safe from the world at large. But this kid is a god. All right, let's just acknowledge that he has amazing powers that nobody else has, and he can save so many people. So just let him do it. He's not gonna bring it back to the Kents. He's not gonna ruin anything on your life. He's just gonna do
happens in this movie.
I know, but well, that does happen. But all right, let's move on because I got more to say about later.
Party scene. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where fucking Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are talking, and Clark Kent is talking to Bruce. He's like something about Batman being above the law, and it's the worst fucking lip sync job I've ever seen. He opens his mouth for half a second, and that whole sentence just comes out.
See, I never noticed that.
Fucking absurd.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%. It's at 50 minutes and 34 seconds, if you want to check it.
I'm not going to do that because I have to turn on my PS4, and I don't really care to do that. But,
it's fine. Either way, that's my...
Maybe I'm just an idiot, and I don't acknowledge these things or even notice them, but they never bother me to that extent.
I did. This is the first time I noticed it as well.
It's the whole argument that we've had before about CGI and special effects in movies where people spend too much time complaining about them. Where I'm just happy that I'm seeing it. I can acknowledge that there are certain scenes that look a little weird in films or things that aren't done very well. But for what you got, come on, stop bitching about everything.
It's not like they're what? It's not like they're putting this movie out for free.
I know.
You're paying for something. You're allowed to critique it.
You can critique it, but the simple fact that there's a scene where Clark Kent is talking, and they might have. What is that called? ADR or something? They might have gone over it with audio. But would that ruin the movie for you?
No, of course not.
Well, maybe not for you, but that's the thing where there's tons of people online that they're this whole scene just ruined the film for me and it's garbage. I'm going to give it a 0 out of 10.
Wow. Are these people made out of straw out there that you're talking to about this?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Straw man. You made
I got it!
The biggest straw man. Okay.
I just feel like people they bitch about things that are dumb.
Yep, people do complain about things. You nailed it.
I
like this scene. I like the scene. I like the scene.
I just want to say, this is my opinion about everything. This isn't Nick. This is just me. I feel like people bitch way too much about films. All right. Nothing is ever going to be when you're 10 years old and you're watching Star Wars for the first time and it blew your mind. Okay, like nothing is going to be the most perfect and amazing film that you've ever watched. Those are very rare films that happen, and it's always a random thing that occurs. Okay,
Right.
Sometimes a movie is just a movie. Get the fuck over it. And then me saying that is, I don't know the word right now, but it's hypocritical in itself, I guess.
I want to like get a cap of that, like a little sound bite, and then play that when you fucking
whenever I bitch about something.
Yeah, whenever you complain about something, and just like play that to you, and then just.
But that's the thing. I like these movies. I'm like this is the greatest film that ever existed.
Like it's cool. They're all right movies. They're definitely got maybe too much slack. I don't know. Like the internet has made everyone like anyone can give an opinion, right? Like I can go to the Marvel subreddit right after Infinity War, and I could listen to the sound of 8 million nerds jerking themselves off over how fucking good that movie was. Just like, and I mean, like it was a good movie. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, and changing the fucking world or some shit like some of these guys were making it sound.
But like, okay, like I get it. Everyone is allowed to have their opinion. I fully acknowledge that. That's great. You can say whatever you want to say, but maybe just take it down a notch sometimes. Like these movies they shouldn't be your lives. Like, come on. Like, even though this is a
literary device known as hyperbole is a thing where people over embellish in order to get their point across.
Hey, Nick?
Yeah?
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
see the hyperbole again. But I like the scene. Like it's one of those scenes where Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne, and he's
real dickish, and he's funny.
Yeah, he's womanizing a bit. Wonder Woman shows up.
Oh yeah, we get the first version of Diana Prince that we've seen.
She's just wonderful. I love Wonder Woman, dude.
She's the best thing in this movie, I find.
Easily, by far.
So okay, so we have that weird party scene. It's really fun. Batman has that. Okay, I just gotta say that's a really dumb. Like, Mr. Wayne, what are you doing in our like computer software room? And he's like, oh, I thought the bathroom was over here.
See, like, if you'd committed and just started pissing on that server, I would have been like, yes, this is. Like if he like started slurring, like I don't. Again, there's ways where this movie becomes good, and I don't know why they didn't use them. Like, fucking Zach, hit me up, dude. I got ideas. We can make something happen.
I feel like we could both make a great movie, but it would be really awkward because we have different opinions on what makes a great movie. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, so.
Well, yeah, he would just listen to me and not you.
No, because I feel like he would listen to me more than you.
Okay.
That's just me. But sure. Anyway, he's out. So
let's get into this dumb imaginary argument over who Zack Snyder would listen to more.
I feel like I have better opinions. But anyway, okay. So what exactly occurs? Because on my notes here, I have the party scene with Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent,
right?
And then it jumps to Batman's nightmare scene.
Oh,
is that actually what occurs?
That happened actually before for me. Superman saves that like Mexican girl from a burning building or some shit.
Oh, so yeah, we jump to the scenes with Superman like saving a bunch of lives and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's like pulling the ship out of the ocean and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so then when does the Batman nightmare scene come into play?
It actually already happened. Like, what do you mean? Like the one with the weird man bat?
No. Sorry. The post-apocalyptic nightmare scene.
Oh, that's like way later, I think. Like Clark Kent does some like digging in the prisons and shit. Fuck.
No. Okay, whatever. Tell me what happens next. You go on.
Okay, Lex gives the guy his fucking wheelchair, his bomb wheelchair.
Okay.
That one dude with the bat brand gets like killed in prison.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Like Wonder Woman and Batman have that scene in like the museum or whatever, which is again like nice cool scenes again, like nothing too crazy, good scenes. Now it's post-apocalyptic time. Okay,
so yeah, we have this I find a really cool scene.
I fucking hate the scene so much.
Okay, well, let's get into this. So let me just quickly run through the plot of what occurs in the scene, and then you can shit on it and do whatever you want to do. Okay, so we have the Batman nightmare post-apocalyptic scene in the future, where we have a Batman running around in a trench coat. He's got a gun. He's got the kind of like a a ragtag group of people that are like rebels, which you don't really know what's going on in this scene, but basically they are trying to stop this Superman regime or something from taking over the world, from what I gathered.
Yeah, Batman's trying to get the kryptonite, and
he's trying to get some
betrayed.
kryptonite.
Superman shows up, murders people.
So I want to just jump into that whole betraying scene. So he gets betrayed with the kryptonite. Everybody starts getting killed. Batman, this is like full on. Like he's shooting people. He's snapping necks. He's just going hardcore into this. He's got a sweet ass trench coat. It's a sweet ass trench coat. Okay,
it is pretty.
He's killing people, and then we get the scene. I remember seeing this with you in the theater, and I don't know if you remember my reaction to this. But we got the parademon.
I think you wet your pants.
I did. I lost my shit. I had to. I just sat in it. I couldn't leave because I didn't want to miss any of it. But we had the parademons, which is the first time we've ever seen a live action version of parademons in the movies, which are connected to Darkseid and all that shit. But I thought that was fucking so cool to me. All right, and then we get Batman tied up. We got Superman shows up. He's all really in a bad mood, essentially.
Executing people, dude.
Yeah, he just fries people. And then he kills Batman. And he says something about Lois Lane, like, you took her from me?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And then he kills Batman. And then Batman wakes up. But then we see this
coming through time. He's like, you have to save her. She's the key.
You're the key, Bruce. You gotta bring us together.
Lane. It was Lois Lane. He was talking about Lois Lane, dude. She's the key.
Yeah, she's the key. But he's like, you gotta find us all, Bruce. You gotta do it. You're right about him. You're right about him. I know. I just watched this movie, Nick. Okay.
No, that's what
I don't care.
The scene doesn't need to exist.
I feel like the Flash outfit looks really cool. I think it's really gnarly. But all right. What's your problem with this whole?
The scene doesn't need to exist. Like, some of the biggest problems with this movie is they're taking this, what should be a very simple movie, in that Superman is new to the planet. People are genuinely afraid of him for reasons that they have every right to be, because he doesn't answer anybody. He's immortal. It literally just needs to be Batman realizing that because he's Batman, and that's it. It doesn't have to be this weird, like, he's getting visions of the future where Superman kills him, and that's why he needs to stop Superman 100% for realsies. It could just be ideologies clashing. That's what it should be.
Okay.
Instead, it's just not. Like, there's this scene later, I think it's actually the next one, where, like, Clark Kent is in Gotham City, like, getting dirt on Superman, or on Batman, sorry.
Yeah.
And he's, like, talking, he wants, like, records on the dude that died with, like, the fucking Batman brand, the prisoner that got killed.
Oh, yeah, and he meets the mother with the kid.
Yeah. And, like, he's talking to the mother, and the mother's like, you can't talk with the Batman, only fists will stop him.
Who decides who lives and dies?
Yeah, one man, that's not right. And, like, you could see Clark Kent, like, got this, like, look on his face, like, he was gonna take this advice to heart from this fucking, like, just this one random woman that is obviously not in a great place because her husband just died in prison. And he's like, yeah, you're right, I can't talk to him.
Actually, it wasn't her husband.
Was it her brother? Or just, like, her boyfriend? It doesn't matter.
Why would you go to brother instead of boyfriend?
I don't know. Because it seems like such a meaningless distinction. To me. It just seems like such a meaningless, like... What's the point of that distinction? What's the point of... Oh, well, technically we weren't married.
Maybe they're trying to imply that they're trashy people.
Then, again, Superman is taking advice from this woman. Like, she's like, oh, yeah, maybe I should just stop it with my fist. Because then he goes and does just that. Like, it's absolutely, like, the dumbest... Sorry, like, I feel like I'm jumping. Is there anything more on that parademon shit you wanted to talk about? Like, we're good there? I just feel like it didn't need to be added. Like, they're trying to put too much into this movie, and it's losing its core themes.
You make a good point that it just seems like you're just stacking on too much. Like, it doesn't need to be there. You already have a good, solid concept.
I guess they wanted to tease the Flash and Justice League and stuff like that. It just seems like this movie should be Batman and Superman clashing, their own ideologies, them. Instead, it's a bunch of outside forces influencing them and shit. Where I feel like that takes away a lot from the movie.
See, I will acknowledge, I'm kind of caught in the middle on this thing that It could probably be a problem where I'm stuck in the middle of the fact that this is a film in its own right, and that there
Right.
are these comic books that stand on their own. So
Like,
the film likes to acknowledge that there are comic book sources for what they're doing, but
mhm.
they're not using them in any capacity where it works in the film. So this whole scene where Batman is in the future and Superman goes evil is, I'm probably wrong on this, so I'm sorry if anybody fucking gets mad. I don't really care, but it's kind of a reference to a Earth 2 storyline where Superman goes evil and he works for Darkseid. He becomes kind of his like right hand man, and he just destroys the Earth and kills so many people.
Right.
So I feel like that is kind of a reference to this. I get that it's kind of like, oh, this is a possible future situation, but we kind of get that. We don't need to see it to this extent. I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Like, this scene is
Mhm.
unnecessary. Like, we do know that Superman could just kill everybody. But I
Yeah,
do like the fact that it does tease the parademons and any other
it
stuff
definitely
like
like
that.
foreshadows some stuff. At the same time, you could have put it at the end or something. Like it could have
Hmm.
been a vision Lex Luthor had or something with parademons and had the same effect.
Yeah.
It just feels like one of those scenes where when they were brainstorming plot, shit, they're like, oh man, it'd be really cool if Batman had this fucking vision of the future and Superman's evil and fucking killing dudes, and it'd be so fucking sick.
I feel
And
like it
then
would
it's
be
just
like,
one of those
what
things, like
if.
any other thing, it would have ended up on the cutting room floor during edits and shit, and it
Mhm.
just didn't here. Like it's inexplicably somehow in this fucking movie.
It's like Zack Snyder was just like, what would it be like if Batman had a trench coat and a gun?
Yeah, and Superman's fucking evil, and he's fucking just eye laser and dudes like pew pew pew.
But I do have to say that some of my favorite, I don't know if they're yeah, they're Elseworld stories, other kind of
Like
DC
Injustice
stories
was really
are
cool.
great with an evil Superman
Yeah,
because it works so well because he's this godlike being who could just kill everybody.
it turns out when the dude is super fucking strong and can't be beat, he makes a really good antagonist as well.
Yeah. So that's just something I like, but I guess I will acknowledge that makes sense. This scene is kind of unnecessary and it is a little weird in the film. It does
Mhm.
look cool. There are sweet moments in it, but you don't need it.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, like I can like it's a cool looking scene for sure. Like it's badass. It just feels like it doesn't belong in this part of the movie, or like I mean, if it was done after they kind of befriended each other somehow, like that would have been fine because it gives Batman some pause and shit like that. It just feels oddly placed and just detracts, I think, a lot from the core themes of what this movie should be about.
And I acknowledge all that you're saying, but I do really like that Flash scene. I do.
It's a really cool scene. Like I really like it. It's a cool scene.
I
It
like
just
the Flash
doesn't
and his sweet metal armor and all that shit. But
sure 100%.
Okay.
Next is the scene with like the do bleed type shit.
Oh yeah, so we get into that. So we have this ship called the White Portuguese that's bringing in a special Superman deterrent weapon, which is just
they're bringing in
kryptonite.
kryptonite.
Yeah, they're bringing in kryptonite. So Batman goes there. He shoots off a little tracking device into the thing. He gets into a big car chase with all the bad guys. He shoots a lot of people. Like
right. Blows up a lot of cars, if I remember right.
There's a lot of death that occurs in this scene, which I'll be honest, I think is awesome. I'm not like, yeah, kill people, but I'm like, this is dope. Like,
yeah,
this
Batman,
is awesome.
fucking zoom in on that dude as he fucking
just
burns
cut his
to death.
face off.
Yeah, I've only got a half chub.
Okay,
get me all the way.
Let's tone that down, Nick. All right, buddy.
Okay,
this is getting a little crazy here. It's a really cool action scene. I think that it just works in the film. But my big problem with this whole situation is when Superman shows up. So it's our first interaction between Superman and Batman, where Batman is chasing the criminals. He's gone through all this shit. He's blown off part of the truck. He's about to take them down. He turns a corner. Superman is just chilling there. He smashes into Superman in the Batmobile, and he just whizzes off into a building. And he's fucked up. So it's trying to show, like, yeah, he's a big deal, right?
Right.
And he shows up and he's like, the bat is dead. You need to stop what you're doing. This is mercy, right? And they have their whole, like, little tough guy
posturing.
Posturing. That's the word. I couldn't think of that for some reason. But they're posturing all over each other, and a lot of taunts and just like, do you bleed? And like a lot of,
you will.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that was a really cool line. I thought that was really cool.
It is cool, but whatever. But My problem with the scene is like, why did Superman just like let those guys get away? Like they're like I feel
Superman
like
seems very goal oriented.
well,
Where he's
clearly
like,
he
his
knows what is
goal is to stop
happening.
Batman, and he's got this idea that Batman is a villain hurting innocent people or something.
Okay, but he's there, right? He
Right.
knows Batman is about to turn this corner, so clearly he's been observing the
Watching.
situation that is occurring, and he knows these are bad people that are like just shooting guns, and Batman's trying to take him out. So why does he just like
so are
let
these
them
criminals?
go? They are.
What are they doing? Is this not the kryptonite that Lex Luthor has a valid import license for?
He doesn't have a valid import license. There's a plot in the beginning with Holly Hunter because she's
Oh, she put
blocking.
the. Oh, did she already do that?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
guys,
right,
she
with
didn't.
the Granny's iced tea thing. That's
Yeah,
right. That's when she says, "Yeah, I'm blocking your import permit." That's right.
Just
Okay.
a jump back real quick. Lex Luthor tried to get the kryptonite brought in from a foreign country into the United States, but Holly Hunter's character, who is a senator, and I don't give a shit, she's saying no, she's not going to allow that to happen. So
Right.
Lex Luthor has to do illegal measures to bring this into the country. Thus, we jump to Batman. Blah 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 blah. So, it is a little weird that Superman just like lets these people go. Like, I know he has a problem with Batman as a person and the way he does his things, but like these guys are shooting guns. They have rocket launchers. They're shooting javelins at Batman, but still they have these guns. Like, you not?
So, to me, the Batman's going pretty fucking extreme to stop what is essentially like an illegal shipping operation.
Mm-hmm.
He's blowing up cars. He's fucking killing people. That might be a little bit extreme, and I think that's kind of why I feel like dog shit for defending this movie. But like that's how I'm kind of viewing it: is that Superman sees it's it's some white collar crime. It's not like they're slave traders or something. There's not really a victim here, aside from the U.S. government, I guess.
He doesn't know that. Maybe it is slave trading.
Maybe he looked with his X-ray vision inside with a shipping container.
Maybe it's sex trafficking. Maybe it's something horrible. Like maybe he should intervene on this situation. Like, I get that he wants to stop Bruce Wayne or Batman, whatever.
But to me, it seems like he's fresh off talking to that single mother who never got married, and she said he has to be stopped with fists, and he believed her and was like, "Yeah, he does. You're right, single poor lady."
Random woman with a child.
Yeah, random woman whose boyfriend was just murdered in prison and is definitely making sound decisions and giving me sound advice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go stop him, and then he just does that.
Okay.
I think to me, Superman in this movie is very much this thing is bad, and I'm gonna put a stop to this thing. He doesn't really pay a lot of attention to the rest of
So a lot of this film can be contributed to the fact that people are really leaning into their emotional side of situations. Like
they act like shitty characters. Like there's not thinking things through.
They might not. Okay, I don't think they're shitty characters,
decisions.
but they're being human about certain things. And it's like you should be doing a logical situation, but they're actually just caught up in the emotional aspect of it, and they're doing dumb shit.
But they're held to a higher standard than that. Like it's not like I can see getting pissed off at stuff. At the same time, I feel like Superman must have at this point realized that he can't get pissed off and start fucking eye lasering shit. He's got to think things through and think through these situations, because talking to some grieving widow that says, yeah, Batman did this inadvertently somehow, and he doesn't listen to no one, she doesn't know that people have tried to talk to Batman or not. She literally says he needs to be stopped with fists and he can't be talked to, despite having no evidence of any of that, and Superman just fucking goes off.
Plus she's defending her shitty boyfriend, who's probably a terrible human being.
Yeah. And again, so this is Superman taking advice from this woman.
Okay.
And then that's to me is what is the shitty characterization part, where that doesn't seem like a logical thing that anyone would ever do.
But isn't that kind of okay? I'm caught in between like real world and superhero movies, but
that's not like a real world thing, is it?
But it's a real world thing in the fact that people get caught up in emotions. They get caught up in things that persuade them in a way that not a logical
real thing for sure. It doesn't show that in the movie. Like
I guess it doesn't. It might not blatantly state it to you, like, "Hey, Nick, I'm doing." No,
it doesn't show that. They literally what the movie shows is he talks to this woman who gives him this sob story that any sane person would say, "Oh, she just lost her boyfriend who was a criminal to prisoners. Batman did not murder this man." and he gets pissed off for some reason and goes to stop Batman. That's literally what the movie shows. It doesn't
Superman
show him researching this story or something for like 8 months and doing some investigative journalism and, whoa, this Batman character's kind of fucked up, and like getting to the bottom of stuff and be like, this has to end. Because that would make it a good movie with like thought and whatnot behind character motivations. Instead, he talks to this random woman who says Batman can't be reasoned with, like she's fucking tried or something. Like she stopped him on the street and been like, hey, can you please turn down? He's just like, I can't be reasoned with. And then
she just finds Batman walking down the road.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, dude, can you not like
and he just
brand
says, no.
people?
He literally says, I can't be reasoned with. I will only listen to fists. And then fucking leaves. Her. Yeah. And that's what it makes it seem like. These characters their motivations seem so flawed. And that's what's so frustrating to me, because at the core, Batman's ideology, like from the little bit of Justice League and like other movies I've seen, Batman's ideology often clashes with Superman's in like the pragmatism versus the idealism and shit like that. Okay. You can do a movie showing just that and have them clash, especially their first meeting, and actually have conflict. Instead, it's like these characters somehow being misdirected, like they're fucking newborns that, trust everything they're told and shit like that. And this lady told me Batman was bad and wouldn't listen to me, so I'm not going to try to talk to him. I'm going to go fuck up his car and threaten him with no, because he could have, at the end of the day, these characters for the most part are on the same side, right? That obviously happens in Justice League and all that shit. These characters, by all means, should be friends. And I mean, if they had a conversation or a dialogue, this probably movie would have happened. And I get the point is they're making a movie, but it just feels very contrived at times.
That makes sense. I feel like a lot of this film needs a lot of over emotionalized situations that don't need to even be where they are. Which on one side, it's like I get it, like they're heavily into this because they're just upset. Right? But then on the logical side, it's like you could have just taken 5 minutes and talked to each other. Mm-hmm. Like you didn't need to have any of this stuff. So I get it.
Because that
I
part
understand
literally
what you're trying to say.
In the movie. They both say the mom's name and then
we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Hold on.
This movie in general feels like they came up with like the plot bullet points and were like, what would be the coolest possible thing to happen at this moment? It's like Superman flies in, fucks up his car, says the Batman must die, and the Batman says, do you bleed? You will. And then they were like, yeah, fuck, that's so fucking cool.
Wouldn't it be great if like Superman just came back?
Yeah.
Like he's like, you will, and he's like, what? And he's just like, no.
No, later though.
It's cool, man. Don't.
I got a thing tonight.
It's fine. I didn't say shit. It's cool. Then you do you.
It's the voice thing. It might have sounded like I threatened you, but I said, okay, the bat's dead. Jackass.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
So, for some reason in my notes, I have a comment about Mercy Graves. Do you know who that character is in the movie?
I do. That's the Asian lady.
Yeah, the Asian assistant to Lex Luthor. I feel like she is very underutilized in this movie. And I see what they did, I guess, but I like her in the comics and the movies, or in the show and stuff. She's like Lex
I've seen her
right-hand bodyguard who's like a robot.
She was a robot and some stuff, yeah.
Yeah, she's got like a gun arm and all this crazy shit. And I was hoping that would happen in this film at some point, but she's just kind of there.
It feels like she doesn't need to exist.
Exactly. Like, well, she should exist, but there shouldn't be as much camera time on her, kind of thing. Like, it shouldn't be like...
So, the two things that I remember her doing in this movie are stopping Batman in the server room, which a random security guard could have accomplished, and like blowing up in that explosion. Later. Like,
her body got disintegrated.
There's no point to her existing other than, well, in the comic book she existed. Like, it's just a weird nod to comic book, which is fine. But it just feels like there's so much stuff in this movie as is.
Like, okay, so I just gotta say, like, I like the fact that there are references to the comic books, but I don't like the fact that they don't do anything with them. Like, Mercy Graves.
I just feel like this movie is already 3 hours long. Like another hour or half an hour of a Mercy Graves robot fight where they go into her. Like, it just can't work unless they tone down the movie a lot.
It could have worked, but it just doesn't work in this movie. Right?
Oh, I mean, there's definitely a movie where 100% it would have been probably a Superman versus Lex Luthor movie. I think there's too much to cover by introducing Batman and
like,
also having reasons for them to fight and stuff.
She might have
Or
worked at that
if
whole
you replaced
warehouse
like
scene.
the mercenary guy at the beginning with her or something, like you would basically be replacing other mercenary characters with her or something, and then.
But then it just gets all convoluted. Like
I
get it. So I feel like she could have had a great, awesome stuff, but at the same time, it's like she doesn't really matter. Like, I'm sorry, but she doesn't really. There's nothing about that. Anyway, so Superman, he's all upset, but he doesn't understand what's going on in the world, and he's all blah 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 blah. Right. So he goes to see Martha Kent, his mother. Right. I just gotta say, I've said this earlier, but Ma and Pa Kent.
Really banging body? Me too, dude. Like, holy shit.
Diane Lane is a beautiful human being.
Right?
Oh my god. Like, that's weird that you said that, because yes, I think she's a very awesome person, very attractive.
She's fantastic.
No, the thing I was actually going to say is they give shitty advice. Some of the worst advice. Like, okay, I get what she's trying to say to Superman, where she's like, you can be their idol, you can be their hero, their god, you could save them all, or you could do none of it. You don't owe this world a thing. Like, I get what she's trying to say, where it's like, you can literally do what you want.
He has agency in his own life, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, he's already been doing this. Like, he's a hero. He's saving lives, so maybe let him save lives. All right, don't do this whole Jonathan Kent where, like, maybe let a bus full of kids die because it ruins the family image kind of bullshit. Like,
I like that. I don't know. I don't feel that. Like, I think Pa Kent gives shitty advice. But I think Martha in this one, it's nice to humanize Superman a little bit, and I think characters telling him, like, hey, we were fine before Superman, and we'll be fine after Superman. Like, he doesn't need to bear this cross, is also okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. Like,
and that's just, like, how
he doesn't need to be this Messiah
and obviously
character.
He will, because he's Superman and stuff, and it adds...
Yeah. Like, it's awesome that you're doing this and you're saving lives and all this stuff, but we're civilization, we're humanity in a whole. Like, we don't need a Superman, but if he was here, that would be a bonus, kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Like, I get that. She makes more sense than John, so...
Yeah, John is fucking dog shit.
So then we cut to, like, Holly Hunter's character, the Senator Finch. She gets, the...
Oh, so, okay, before that, the black lady at the beginning, so there's a black woman at the beginning that gives a false testimony saying that, like, Superman caused a bunch of distress in Africa when he did that intervention. And
that's literally what I'm jumping into. Yeah, she goes to Holly Hunter's office and she
she gets threatened. So she's going home on a bus and she sees mercenaries outside. So that's why she's going to Holly Hunter. And then
so she was clearly paid off or something to give this false testimony.
She says she was threatened.
She was threatened?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that scene, so okay. That makes, a little more sense. So she was threatened, but then she... Notes. Shut the... All right, Nick. You're good on your opinion. I will kill you. But, yeah, so she notices that the KGB agent guy and whatever the hell, the mercenaries
are they actually KGB, or are you just saying KGB?
No, okay, so they're not KGB, but the guy, his name's I think his name is Kellen
Let's just
Mulvey.
Call them LexCorp mercenaries at this point.
Shut up for 2 seconds. Okay. So the guy with the slicked back hair and the scar on his face, he's played by actor, I really hope I'm getting the name right.
It's John C. Evil, isn't it? Fucking guy who just looks really evil with his slicked back hair and his scar in real life.
I hate you so much. His name is Kellen Mulvey or something. Mm-hmm. He's an Australian actor, and his character is in the comics known as KBG Agent. Maybe that's not right. KGB Beast. It's KG Beast. There it is. So it's KGB.
I remember him.
Yeah, so that's the guy he's playing in the comics. So that's what I'm referring to when I'm saying KGB.
Little throwback.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, he's there. She gets freaked out. She's like, they're going to kill me or something. So I need to actually tell Holly Hunter so I can be safe. So she goes to Senator Finch's office. She tells him what's really going on, that Lex Luthor threatened her, I guess, and all this stuff. So I do have to say, this is a complete aside. It doesn't matter. It's a tangent. But Holly Hunter is looking really good.
Real fine? Yeah,
Like,
dude.
holy shit. She's sitting there, she's signing papers, and she's just like got mad muscle, man. She's in great shape. I just wanted to throw that out there. Holly Hunter, you're looking good. You know, not a big deal.
Good job,
So, we jump to Lois. She finds the bullet using the beginning from the LexCorp. She's talking to the senator guy. He's like, "Yo, these are LexCorp bullets," which, as we've acknowledged earlier, kind of a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Maybe don't
regular bullets.
Yeah, don't put your name on a thing like this. It's kind of ridiculous. So then we get to the very infamous hearing, the senator hearing where Superman shows up. Okay.
You want to go talk about Wally and shit first?
Wallace, good old guy. I don't actually remember his name, so I'm referring to him as Wallace.
Right.
What do you gotta know?
So he legs busted in the Superman attack. Lex gave him a new wheelchair.
His wife left him.
So. Yes. Basically ruined his life. Did it say why? Was it because his lack of legs?
Let's just go with that. I don't think he really went into it.
Seems like a weird thing.
But she seems like kind of a cunt, so I feel like that would kind of work.
He's been rejecting, so Wayne Corp has been sending checks, I guess, to him forever, like as a victim of that attack. And he's been rejecting them with like crazy scrawlings like "the blind will see Wayne," like just real fucked up shit. And like whoever's been receiving this mail has like not raised a red flag here at all over the last like 4 years that it's been happening, or 18 months or whatever it's been.
So
which is absolutely dumb as hell.
Yeah, and even Batman, he's like, "Why haven't I got these?" And they're like, "We'll figure it out, Mr. Wayne."
Yeah, we'll figure out this plot hole later. Don't worry.
Why didn't you tell me this early as fuck? Like, this is really disheartening.
I just pictured like the mail room is like they receive this letter and fucking like they open the door and like a huge thing of like weed smoke just pours out. And it's like, crazy guy sent another letter, man. This one, he said he's gonna gouge Wayne's eyes out so we can finally see the true horrors of the world. Ha ha ha!
You got like, Charlie Day doing his conspiracy thing.
Yeah.
So that was Lex, right? Like he was taking the letters or something, and he was doing his
no, I think the dude was legitimately crazy.
No, but okay. There's a scene. It shows the letter for like a second or two, but it shows the senator building on fire.
Yeah, you let your family die.
Lex acknowledges that you let your family die. He's like a few letters in, and Mr. Wayne just kind of loses his shit. Like he's clearly doing that. So I feel like the Wallace wasn't actually receiving these letters.
So he's also the guy that scrawled on the fucking he climbed the statue at the beginning and wrote like
false god.
Yeah, so that makes me think that he's legitimately just unhinged as well.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do this shit. He wouldn't like send that back to Bruce Wayne. He's mad at Superman. He's not mad at.
Oh, that's true. You know what? I think you're right. I think I might have just missed that.
Exactly. So I feel like that was a Lex Luthor plot thing, which
I'm not trying
to criticize you as a human being because you clearly missed something that occurred in the film later on and you're a dumbass, right. But Lex Luthor even acknowledged that he had that. So you're an idiot. So let's just go on to the hearing.
Right.
So we got this big hearing. Superman shows up for this shit that doesn't fucking matter. That he killed a bunch of mercenary terrorist people. Like, it's just...
I think that he should show up to this shit.
Okay, yeah, alright, you're right. He should be there because it is something that incorporates a lot of people.
Well, and just like a big theme of the movie is him not being accountable for stuff.
You're right. Taking responsibility for what he's done.
Proving that wrong. Or trying to.
Okay. Yeah, so he shows up. He's ready to go on. Holly Hunter's giving a big speech. She stops. She notices on her desk that there's this Granny's peach tea fucking jar of piss on her desk. She freaks out. Superman notices something's wrong. Boom! Everything blows up. Everyone's dead.
I like how you said boom.
Thank you. I know. I was really psyched for that. I don't actually have.
I could tell.
But a lot of good characters died in that scene. I found. Yes. I really liked Holly Hunter. I liked Scoot McNairy. I liked Mercy Graves' character. She was really cool to me. But they're all gone. So, yeah. So that all blew up, killed a ton of great people. Superman, in the extended edition, we have a scene where Superman is actually helping out. He's
helping out like the injured and shit.
Yeah. Like he doesn't just fly off immediately. He's like, I'm here to, like, I'm a super guy. I'm gonna help I'm gonna help save people's lives. So he does that, and then he flies off, and he notices, I find, that he looks around, he sees everybody in distress, people dead, people just injured, and he notices all the death and the destruction that he's caused just by being there. Okay, so
just by existing.
Yeah, just by being a person that
being
is in
Superman.
this world.
Yeah, by being Superman.
By being so super that he's a Superman.
Right.
So he is gone. So I have a bit of a gap here. What occurs in the next
Lex goes to the ship with Zod's body and does like the cut thing, his hand thing, and
okay.
Starts making Doomsday.
Are you sure that didn't occur earlier?
He got access to the ship, and then he was like, "Tell me your knowledge and shit." And then hold on. The part where he actually brings Zod's body in there.
We're missing a little bit because I have this written down on my notes. So, we have a cool scene in the extended edition that I don't remember in the original, where Batman actually breaks into LexCorp and he steals the kryptonite. So he's ready to fight Superman. Superman questions who he is and what he's been doing. So he talks to Lois. He has like this whole dramatic moment where it's like, the world might not need Superman, blah, 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 blah. Then we cut to Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne, just working out in
just
fucking phenomenal shape. Just
amazing.
He's pulling tires, flipping random things of metal, just screaming at the wall. Just amazing
Made me wish I wasn't such a lazy piece of shit in real life.
I know, I'm just such a human piece of garbage. So
some cool scenes, like just nothing super of substance there, but like some cool Ultimate Edition, Extended Edition, like, hey, this is, some cool scenes.
Then we get access to the Metahuman archive, which it's interesting that Lex Luthor built this archive of metahumans that he's been watching and observing, but it is really weird at the same time. Like he designed all the symbols for all these people, and then some of the scenes don't really work.
Oh, it's almost like fucking some CEO said, "Hey, we need to foreshadow the rest of these movies, so put a scene in there."
Oh my god, you're right.
I think we cracked the code. Okay,
you figured it out. So yeah, so then we get to the part you were talking about. So we got Lex Luthor in the kryptonite ship. He's trying to put Zod's body in the thing. The
ship is from Krypton, but it's not kryptonite.
Okay. You got me there. It's the ship is a Krypton ship. I feel like there might be a better way to say that, but you got me there.
A Krypton vessel.
I'm so mad that I can't fight this right now. So yeah, you're right. I found that it's actually an interesting reference. So when Luthor is trying to bring Zod back, the ship itself is like, we can't do this. This has been stated by the Kryptonian
It's a deformity. Like Krypton deformities are.
Yeah. It's a thing that we're not allowed to do anymore. Which in the Doomsday original plotline, his origin is that he was created. I really hope I'm getting this right. He was created by Kryptonian scientists to be an ultimate weapon, and he got out of control, so they just kind of launched him into space.
That's rad as hell.
And then he shows up on Earth, and Superman fights him, and then we get the Death of Superman plot line. But I thought that was just kind of a cool reference that she mentioned.
It is cool, but...
Yeah. Little side note, we get a lot of moments of Lois Lane's apartment. Lois Lane has a bitchin' apartment. That place is fucking amazing. Like, it is a humongous apartment for a woman that works at
it's like the fucking Friends apartment where like Rachel's a shitty waitress and like Monica is like, I don't know, and they afford like this massive like 4-bedroom huge ass apartment in
like
fucking,
rent would be like
$3,000
plus a month.
Oh, easily. Like you're probably looking at 5 or 6, I think.
Like it doesn't
Maybe
make
at that
sense.
time it would have been 3, but yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't. Things don't add up. But she's won a Pulitzer, so.
Oh yeah, so she's good. And excuse me. There's a cool reference in the Ultimate Edition where they mentioned that the whole reason Superman didn't notice that the wheelchair had a bomb in it is because Lex Luthor, he lined the bomb casing with lead, which in the comics, Superman can't see through lead. So that's just a thing that he doesn't know how to do.
So X-rays can't go through lead. That's why you wear a lead vest at the dentist.
There you go.
So he's got X-ray vision. So
oh my
God!
See
through lead.
Thank you, Nick, for making this make more sense. So I'm not a dumbass. So there we go. So that's why he didn't just know how to do it.
Didn't hear the ticking and shit.
He didn't know what to do. So then we get Superman flying. No, he doesn't fly. He goes to this weird mountain thing.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out who he is, and we have this weird, dream, whatever memory scene with Pa Kent.
Right.
Who I don't like Pa Kent.
I hate Pa Kent.
I hate him as a person.
I forgot what advice does he Pa Kent shows up as a ghost and talks to Clark, and what does he say? I can't remember what he says. Shitty advice he fucking dispenses.
I remember this. So he's like, yeah, me and my dad, we had a moment where there was a water coming in, flooded the farm. So I did all this stuff. I saved the farm, and my mom or my grandma thought I was a hero. But in reality, when we blocked the water from destroying our farm, the water got redirected to another farm and destroyed this other family, which is the Lana Lane family.
Oh, wow.
For any of the comic fans, the Lana Lane family farm got destroyed, and he's like, I would always go to bed and I can hear the horses screaming in my dreams. And he's basically trying to say, he was trying to be a hero, and he was acknowledged as a hero, but he didn't realize what he did. And it had
That's such shitty advice that doesn't even apply here.
I know. It doesn't work. He's just you could try to be a hero all you want, but you're gonna fuck up.
Pa Kent reminds me of my dad when I was looking for my first job. He's like, you gotta go in there and just ask to see the CEO and shake his hand. That way they know that you're the real deal. Don't do none of that online application stuff. Just go in there with a firm handshake and print off those resumes and pound the page.
My dad was like, just go into that place and just be like, sir, I require a job. It's yeah, that's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
They're not gonna give me a job because I'm just straightforward.
You look that president in the eye and you shake his hand and you say, I desire employment.
I need a job, Mr. President.
I ain't the smartest, but I'm a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll hire you on the spot.
So that was a weird scene with
just fucking awful.
Can I just say,
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Kevin Costner, who plays Pa Kent, I don't like him. I don't think he's a good actor. I don't like him at all. I think he's kind of a shitty person. Kevin Costner, if you want to fight me, I will fight you. I hate
Kevin
you
Costner
as a person.
Would fucking wreck you, dude.
He would probably wreck me, but it would be great for the podcast if I fought Kevin Costner. So,
yeah, no, that would be sick. I would.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having my back on this.
I got your back, dude. I'll tag in or whatever. Absolutely annihilates you.
He's pounding my face, and I slap your hand, and you're just looking at me, and you're like, "Nah, you're on your own." Have fun, buddy.
Before this scene, there was a scene where oh fuck, what's her name? Lois Lane goes into the apartment of Wallace, and there's writing on the wall that's crazy, and she looks in the fridge, and it's fully stocked with food, and she realizes that it's been a setup. He didn't know.
Yeah, because a person that's going to kill themselves or willing to die,
stock up the fridge.
Yeah, they wouldn't buy groceries. They
probably also wouldn't care about buying the exact amount of food needed until they died. But hey,
yeah,
whatever.
So that makes sense. Lois doing her amazing investigative journalism type of thing. She should be a
detective. I think I actually call her the world's greatest detective.
That's really stupid because Batman is the world's greatest detective. So you need to shut your fucking mouth. All right. I don't appreciate this. So yeah. I just have to say that Amy Adams as Lois Lane in these films, I think is great.
She's good. She's good, Lois.
I really like her. She's not I don't know. She's not an idiot. She's a smart character. She's great in her own right. She gets shit done. And there is a lot of scenes where Superman saves her life, but that's just Lois Lane. written as
She's one of the least shitty characters in this movie by far.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Buddy.
For you.
Okay, so then we build up to the amazing Batman
Lois
versus Superman actual fight scene.
Right, Lois and Martha get kidnapped.
Yeah, they get taken.
Lex takes Lois to the top of a building, probably LexCorp, I guess.
Yeah, he pushes her off.
And then Superman saves her, and then Lex goes, but that's not the only babe I've kidnapped. Your mom, I've got her, and if you don't kill Superman, I'm gonna fucking burn her. Because she's a bitch giving birth to you, even though that didn't...
What was up with that whole witch scene? Like, I don't really understand.
Just a weird... again, just like weird... Again, like it's like they picked the coolest thing possible, and didn't really think it through, because Lex, I didn't let them know, or they didn't tell me. I asked them not to tell me where they were taking her, so I wouldn't know. But I did tell them to use a flamethrower when they killed her, and it's just I don't know. Like a lot of things with this movie, you think about it too much, it just kind of feels weird. But anyways, Superman goes to talk to Batman and try to recruit him, and he tells Lois that if he can't, he will kill him. And then Batman does not want to talk because he's already been threatened by Superman once, so he's ready to fucking throw down.
Okay, so just before the whole Batman vs Superman scene, we get the whole what you're saying. Lex Luthor's doing all this crazy shit. He's telling Superman that he needs to do this because Martha is going to be killed. Blah 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 blah. Then we get little side. I really like a random thing where Superman, when he gets so mad that his eyes are just like...
Yeah, they start like glowing a little bit.
Yeah, like he's just
lasers are about to pop out.
Yeah, he's gonna melt Lex Luthor. Like, I love that. It's fucked up, but it's great. And then we have a back to the metahuman archive thing with Diana Prince, Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, she does that thing, and she Batman left some notes in there for her.
Yeah, and she goes into each one of the things. So I just wanted to say, I really liked the Flash scene. I thought that one worked really well.
Was that the one in where he stops the robbery in the convenience store?
Yeah, it was quick, it was easy, it made sense. He's just super fast. We got it across. The Aquaman scene
fucking bad.
Was so weird. He's just like
shows up.
It started really cool with the glowing eyes and shit, and I was like, damn, this is cool. And then he's just kind of staring at a camera for 10 seconds, and it's like, what are you doing? It didn't make sense. And then this cyborg scene, I'm kind of torn up about because
dog shit.
It was so long and it was just too much.
So unneeded.
Cyborg is an interesting character in his own right, but compared to all these other people, I don't care. I don't give a shit about Cyborg. He should be in the Teen Titans. Okay, we don't need to do this. So yeah, we got that whole Diana Prince checking out all the superhero people, which it is weird that Lex Luthor just made the insignias for all these characters.
It's incredibly weird. So can we talk about how after 2 hours into the movie, 120 minutes into the movie titled Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, now it is time for Batman to be versus Superman?
Yeah, it seems a little weird that we've taken so long to finally get to this moment.
A regular movie would be done by now.
Which honestly, it doesn't do it enough. I feel like this film should not have been called Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, I feel like this film shouldn't have been made.
Because you're.
I just don't think it should have been.
You're an asshole, but if it would have gone with a different title, it would have worked a little better. Because the title of the film, Batman vs Superman, seems to focus on the fact that they are fighting each other, which is just a small segment of a larger film. So, do you have any points? Anything you want to...
It's a really cool fight scene between Batman and Superman. I got nothing.
Cool fight?
The Martha thing is fucking retarded. Oh.
Okay. No. Hold on.
Or before that? Okay.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I really like the armored Batman suit.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Looks so badass. All right? That is hella cool. There's a cool moment where Clark first shows up for the fight, Superman, and he just says straight up, Bruce, I don't have time for this. We need to acknowledge blah, 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 blah. So I thought it was cool that Superman knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I thought that was kind of cool because they both pretty much know who each other is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good...
Other are.
Yeah, like, fuck off, man. Good acknowledgement. The whole fight, honestly, could have been avoided straight off the bat, which is like Superman being like, yo, they got my mom. Yeah. Like, they're gonna kill my mom. Like, it's so easy to say that.
Or like, I need your help, I need,
Yeah, like, the thing he says the whole time, he's just like, there isn't enough time. It's like, you don't need to say that. Just be like, they have my mother. And Batman would probably be like, wait, what? Like, hold up. What? Like, they have your mom? Who's got your mom? And then there we go. The discussion kicks off. And none of the fight needed to happen. Okay? But they are really over-emotional bunch of little baby men. So we get this big-ass fight. It's a cool fight, actually. Batman lays the shit into Superman. Like, when he does the whole grenade thing with the kryptonite in it, he just beats the living shit out of him. And that is a fucking awesome scene. Like, I just gotta say,
the action scenes in this movie are fantastic, and it seems like,
And I do have to, I'm gonna say, there's something a lot of the online nerd community has stated is the fact that Superman should have avoided the second grenade. So, he's got 3 grenades, right, filled with kryptonite.
Right.
Okay, so the first one goes off, that's blah, 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 they fight. The second one goes off in the bathroom or whatever the fuck they're in. And that scene to me works because Superman is still trying to like get over the fact that he has kryptonite poisoning or whatever it's called.
It's probably what his first actual exposure to kryptonite, isn't it?
Yeah, like he's never had this happen before. And it's not like it goes away and 10 seconds later he's perfectly normal again. It's like
maybe
his body...
Maybe it's a lead grenade.
Sorry?
Maybe it's in a lead grenade. What?
Nick?
What? Would that not work?
No, that could work. You're right. Sorry.
And that just seems like Batman being Batman, that's something that he would...
He totally would. You think of all the angles.
He would. He's got prep time, dude.
People are like, oh, well, the grenade shot right at him and it already happened, so you should know to avoid it or something. But it's like, if you watch the actual scene, he's like sitting there trying to recover. Like, he's not even back to 100% yet, and he flies at Batman trying to stop him from doing that, but he's just not fast enough. So Batman hits him with another grenade, blah, blah, blah. We get a big fight. Really cool shit. He wings him around him. And then we get to the infamous, the enigmatic, the Martha scene. Okay, so I know you're going to be against me 100% on this scene.
Oh, are you actually going to try and defend the Martha scene?
I will defend the Martha scene.
Holy shit,
I will defend it as best I can because I feel like that scene is fine. I feel like it doesn't matter. People bitch about it way too much. Like, it is just a small moment in a film. Okay? So, Nick, tell me how it is garbage.
So it's the thing that stops Batman from killing Superman.
Exactly. Okay.
There's a million things that they could have done to get that same result that are probably better.
Okay. So we have a character, Batman, Bruce Wayne, who has some serious issues with the fact that his parents were murdered in front of him. Something that he cannot let go. So his mother's name is Martha. There's a moment where his father died next to him, stating the word Martha that we see in this scene. Okay, so it's something that it sticks to him. So he's not okay. He's not mentally balanced to the extent that he's fine with any of this happening. So Superman, in an awkward fashion, I do admit that he just states they're going to kill Martha, which is weird, where it would have made more sense if he was like, they're going to kill my mom.
They're going to kill Ma Kent.
Like, that would have worked so much better, I feel like. But let's just go with the scene that we have. Okay, so he's like, they're going to kill Martha. So that whole scene right there takes Batman off balance. All right, it brings back a bunch of memory shit that he's not ready for to even acknowledge. His mother dying, all this stuff occurring. He's just, like, really fucked up. And he's just like, why the hell would you even say that? Like, do you know something that I don't know? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, he's not okay. All right?
Right.
And then Lois Lane shows up and she's like, his mother's name is Martha. That's his mother. So right there, we have a moment of these two people trying to kill each other over random shit that doesn't matter, and Batman being brought up into a scene where he's just like, holy shit, this dude is like me. He's just a regular person. He has these godlike abilities, but he is a mom. He is a person that still matters. He is somebody that, like, Martha is the same name. Like, that is kind of dumb that they both just happen to have mothers that have the same name.
It's weird to me that he doesn't view criminals as people, as he like tortures them and brands them and shit.
Yeah, because he's an insane. Like, all right, let's acknowledge Batman is an insane human being. Yeah. Okay, he runs around in a Batman suit, killing people, just beating the shit out of criminals. Like, he's not emotionally and mentally stable. Okay.
So to me, the other thing there is that Batman, like one of his quintessential traits to me is that it just feels weird that he would stop over something like that. I could see another character stopping over something like that due to like mental unhinged and stuff. But Batman to me seems like very dedicated and like he's dedicated to what he's doing, and he's not going to stop and give his opponent a way to,
But in this moment, the entire fight is done by an emotional overload of random shit that doesn't really matter. So the fact that Superman says Martha is like a weird moment that just takes him out of the entire situation. So it allows him to step out of his shell and like acknowledge that this guy is just a person. He's not some god that needs to be killed, some person that needs to be eliminated. It's a human being that has a mother, that has a father, that it was just like him as a small child. And he doesn't want to have another person lose their mother the same way that he did. So it's a whole lot of information. It's everything hitting him all at once. And he comes back to who he actually is. Who he is Batman, the guy who just saves people. He's a hero. Okay, so...
I don't...
Alright, go ahead.
I somewhat agree with it. Like, I can see 100% why it would give him pause.
Can you see what I'm talking about, though?
I do. Like, I understand what you're talking about.
Like, I get it. Like, Martha.
Feels like such a ham-handed way to do it.
Like, would it be better if he was just like, they're gonna kill my mom? Like, it would have made more sense.
If I was going to, like, if I was in the fucking director's seat here, I would have Lois try to intervene and be put into some sort of danger. Be it like she trips and she's about to fall down, those 3 stories or whatever. And Batman has to save her. And that lets Superman know that, he owes Batman 1 for saving Lois. And Lois is also there to help explain what's going on with Superman. And that kind of gives that cooling down period. And, they've got... And she can even say, they've got his mom, Martha, or something like that to give Batman that kind of Martha moment. And it just feels like a lot more organic. Yeah, 100%. Like, sure. I mean, 2 hours ago you were not fine with 2 characters sharing the same name, and here we are. But
I know. I acknowledge that we would get to this point, and we got to this point.
I just
couldn't. Fuck me in the ass. All right, let's just move on.
It just feels like such a ham-handed way to do it. Like you said, with like, why would he call her Martha? And
yeah, okay, I give you that. I watched that scene. It is so weird that he's sitting there. It's his mom, and he's like, they're gonna kill Martha. It's like, you would never say that. Like,
no.
I would never say my mother's name. I'd be like, they're gonna kill my mom.
Especially like with Lois there. Like, if Lois is there to explain shit, you don't need the Martha connection right away to break things up. It just needs Lois to say like, hey, whoa, hold up. He needs your help or something. And like, that's fine too. That's why I think having Lois in peril, Batman saves her, Superman, that'll defuse Superman. Lois is there to explain to Batman what's up. Okay. We can make the Martha connection in that scope as well, for sure, and have it not be the prime focal point.
Do you think the Martha... Okay, Fuck, I'm trying to see if there's a way to possibly save the Martha scene itself, which there isn't, I acknowledge. But like, let's say he's sitting there, Batman's gonna kill Superman. Superman is vulnerable, he's defeated, he's got no way out, and he's like, listen, they're gonna kill my mom, alright? They have her, they're gonna kill her. Her name is Martha. She's a great human being. Like,
so to me,
is there some way you could use that?
Lois explains to to me, Lois is the humanizing aspect here for Superman.
Okay.
The fact that Superman has like a significant other or a friend or whatever should be enough to humanize him in Batman's eyes. And if Lois, to me, it makes sense for Lois to say Martha. So it's like
Okay.
they've got his mom Martha, and then Batman just like mumbles Martha. Maybe you do a flashback or whatever to the gun pulling the pearls or whatever the fuck,
There we
and
go.
then it gives him the opportunity to save Martha, to make amends for not being able to do anything, 30 years ago or what the fuck it is.
You know what? You're right. That would have been a much better scene if we had maybe Superman saying something with his mom. Boom, Lois shows up. She's like, yeah, they're going to kill his mother. His mother's name is Martha, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not as awkward as I see it there, but
they've got his mom, Martha. Boom. That
would have worked so much better than him just randomly saying Martha. Like, yes. I see what Zack Snyder was trying to do. I acknowledge it. It doesn't affect me that much, but
feels like
it could have been better.
Researching these characters, and like some writer was like, "Hey, both their moms are named Martha," and then like light bulbs went off. And are they both named Martha in like comics and shit?
I don't know.
Like,
I've never heard that both their mother's name was Martha. I feel like that is just a thing that occurred just because of the movie.
Yeah,
but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe their names are Martha, and that's the thing. But I'm pretty sure it's not. But
it just feels like they started there. We're like, hey, both their moms are named Martha, and then this, and they like, okay, yeah, that's cool, put it in. And then they didn't think the best way to put it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a minor. Like, it's not. It's so minor that whatever. It's kind of dumb on its face. When you think about it a little bit more, it definitely has some validity, like you said. I still think there's way better ways they could have done it to preserve that same aspect. And the Batman scene, dude. Can we talk about the fucking Batman scene?
I have it written.
I love that shit.
In capital letters, I have Batman warehouse scene. So
honestly, flawless.
So we jump from that to Batman and Superman being buddies, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna save your mom. All right, it's no big deal." So then Batman flies off. He goes and saves Martha Kent in the warehouse, and we have this amazing scene of Batman just beating the living shit out of every bad guy in that building. It's very reminiscent of Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, any of the Arkham games, where it's just like tons of people fighting Batman, and he's just doing everything he can to stop them.
He's just doing Batman things, dude, and I fucking love it.
God, that scene is so fucking good.
Again, this far into a movie for Batman to start doing Batman things.
He's done some stuff,
a little bit.
But it should have been more. Like it
feels like there are some action sequences missing from the beginning of the movie.
Like, okay, I will acknowledge that this movie does a lot of prep time that we didn't need. Like, we could have cut down a lot of we're gonna investigative journalism stuff in this.
Movies into one. Like, there's gonna be a standalone Batman movie to kind of set up his stuff, and then boom, go into Batman vs Superman. But instead, they were like, we don't have time. We need to get this Justice League shit out. Put the Batman origin at the beginning, and fucking call it a day.
You know, we could have taken 30 minutes, max of 30 minutes, to do the entire build-up, all this investigative stuff, the senator hearing, build up to the big fight.
It could have literally taken place before the Man of Steel and gone into set up Lex as well. Lex working with Wayne Corp, Wayne Corp shit.
I really like that
introduced
idea.
Both their characters, showed Lex being a bit unhinged, but not quite there yet. Really idolizing his dad. Wayne idolizing his company. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like your idea of having Lex Luthor trying to either buy Wayne Enterprise or what the hell it is, or just having a technological deal or something, that would have worked so much well with having Lex Luthor have a reason to kill Superman because his father was killed. There. Yeah, it just seems weird. But then again, you go on the aspect of that, Lex Luthor is kind of crazy, so he's going to try to kill a guy. But then again, that is a very flimsy reason.
To me, and thinking about it a little bit more, it's like Lex had an initial thought that Superman was bad or could be bad, and they didn't have any way to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And instead of gauging to see if that was right, he decided to make it right by making Superman the bad guy.
Maybe he's just a petty person, and
it could be. It's still a flimsy motivation for a shitty villain in this movie, I think. Okay. So Batman does that sick shit, rescues Martha.
Oh man, he's fucking
so fucking
up.
Cool, just amazing, fantastic.
I have to. Okay, I'm gonna say this real quick. There is a thing online where people are bitching about the fact that Batman throws a grenade into a room of people and they die.
I don't care. It's rad.
That didn't happen. Okay, so this guy, this criminal, this bad guy, this horrible person, he pulls out a grenade. He pulls the pin. Batman kicks him in the face, and this guy drops the grenade into a room with another guy. And Batman just keeps fighting a bunch of people. The grenade goes off and kills those dudes. That has nothing to do with Batman. That's just some
Batman
dumbass.
Didn't pull that pin on that grenade.
Sorry?
Batman didn't pull the pin on that grenade.
Exactly. You know, he didn't have to kill him, but he didn't have to save him, right? So
yeah.
That just happened. And then he saves Martha Kent, and KG Beast gets lit the fuck up. He explodes in a matter of flames.
He's got a flamethrower.
I like that guy. I thought he was kind of a cool bad guy, but that was really dumb.
Served his purpose.
Like, why would you have a flamethrower?
I don't know.
Just shoot her in the head. Just shoot her in the head.
Does not make sense.
But yeah, so we got that.
Lex is at the. So after that scene, Lex is at the Krypton ship.
Mm-hmm.
Superman confronts him, and then Lex says,
boom.
Got Doomsday here, and Doomsday comes and
Doomsday.
Plot point in that in the previous Batman versus Superman fight, Batman had this kryptonite spear that he's going to use to fuck up Superman and Lois after they had fought.
I knew you were going to talk about this. I knew you were going to bring this up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a dumb thing by Lois to do if you look at the film as a whole.
Right.
As her as a person, she doesn't want Superman to get killed. She doesn't want
I
Clark
agree
to get
with
hurt.
that.
So she wants to get rid of this only
she doesn't
weapon
want to
that could kill
store
him.
it for later, or
why would she?
We might need this. Exactly. To her, it's the only thing that can kill Superman, Clark Kent, her love, and so she gets rid of it in the best way she can at the time. I have no problem with that.
But it is dumb because then we have to go back and we have to get this fucking spear to kill the goddamn Doomsday. But it is okay. To me, as a human being, this entire Doomsday fight scene where we have Superman fighting Doomsday, we have Wonder Woman showing up, we have Batman just running for his goddamn life because he can't do anything. This entire fight is phenomenal.
There's a scene where Superman's all three are standing side by side in their cool poses.
Yeah.
And Batman just got this shotgun, and it looks so fucking dumb. It looks so bad.
Okay. It is weird that he has a gun, but what are you gonna do? You're fighting a god guy.
It just is. The fact that he has a gun is fine to me. It's the shotgun is so small compared to him that it just looks so fucking awkward. Just give him a big. I know they're going for this tactical Batman that uses modern military shit. Just give him a bigger gun. I don't care.
No,
he's fighting an alien.
Sense.
Just give him a big fucking gun.
Maybe the bat wing, the bat jet thing still is fine.
Cannon.
And he's got a cannon in that, so that works more better. But there's a couple points I want to acknowledge that the nerd community likes to bitch about, that they're all just being a bunch of fucking idiots.
Are we just doing this podcast for you to address nerd community complaints?
Fuck everybody but myself.
That's so fucking bad. Wow.
I know it is, but it makes me happy. So, alright. So, the Metropolis... so we have Doomsday show up and he fucks shit up. Alright? And then not a lot of people die in that situation because Metropolis... I'm assuming after a year and a half of having a situation where a bunch of godlike people just destroy a city, they probably have a very good evacuation procedure.
I mean, so at the beginning, it's at the launch site or the Krypton crash site, which presumably is not a very inhabited area by default.
No, it's right in the middle of the city. So
yeah, but they're probably not going to build a lot of shit around it. I would imagine it's a fairly cordoned off area.
Okay.
Especially if there's toxic shit in there and they're researching shit.
Yeah.
And then Superman flies him to space, and then
that is a great scene because that shows that in the first movie where Superman fought Zod in the middle of Metropolis, that was a dumb idea. But he was rookie. He was very amateur. He did not know what he was doing. And then we have this Doomsday monster that shows up in the same city. He's about to do the same thing. He's wrecking a bunch of buildings. Superman immediately takes him into space because he learned from his past decisions that he's I need to get this guy out of here. I can't have people die. That's a great decision.
That's good. He grew as a character. It's good.
Yeah. And then the United States decided to nuke them both. which was a weird
whatever
choice.
They've been kind of shitting on the government in this movie, so it doesn't surprise me that they had the government weird, shitty decisions.
Yeah.
And then they make a pretty big note that, Doomsday fell in an uninhabited prison island.
Mm-hmm. Striker Island. Yes,
yeah,
I have that written down. Which, I get it. It doesn't matter. It's weird there's an uninhabited island, but it works for the concept of the film where there's like not 100 people running around it. So, hold on. Sorry, I have my notes here, but it's kind of split up. So,
I mean,
oh yeah. So the nuke goes off. Superman gets fucked up. Doomsday hits the ground, and then he starts getting spikes all over his body, which is a good reference to the original Doomsday, because Doomsday in the comics, it is somebody that, like, if you hit him hard enough, if you try to kill him, his body adapts. Yeah, he gets stronger. He's always able to kill you because nothing can hurt him. He's ready to adapt to every situation.
Right, which is fantastic. I like that. It's a cool thing.
Yeah. How do you take out that kind of villain? Like, it's difficult. So,
I also, like, for the most part, for this action sequence, I do not have any complaints that I can think of.
It's so cool.
It's cool.
There's so much shit happening. There's people flying all over the place. People flying through buildings. I love that shit.
I have no complaints. Even the Kryptonite Spear stuff, honestly, like, I'm fucking fine with all the shit. It's fucking rad. I wish the rest of this movie had embraced just, like, if they had been like, yeah, we just want to do cool shit, the movie, and actually had cool shit instead of talking for the first 2 hours, I'm fucking there. That's my movie.
You're right. The movie could have done a lot better if they did so much.
But
so much dialogue and build up and drama and stuff. It's just like, I get what you're trying to do, but just get to the point.
You either make a complex movie about ideologies clashing and shit like that, and how to deal with a god, even if they're benevolent for the moment and shit like that, or make a cool action movie. Yeah. But doing both is going to be hard, and they fucked it up. Yeah. I'm just gonna. Anything else on that action scene? It was a cool action scene. That's all I got.
Awesome as hell. We get the introduction of Wonder Woman. She saves Bruce Wayne
fantastic.
from dying.
I fucking love Wonder Woman.
That sweet ass guitar riff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good, and
I like her theme.
I love her so much as a character. So we have.
She's good. The Wonder Woman. Yeah.
This sweet fight between them. There is a sweet ass moment I liked where Wonder Woman gets, like, thrown through a building and she hits the ground and she just kind of, like, looks up and she has, like, a smile on her face.
Yeah, dude, I like that shit.
Like, she's just happy because she's like, yeah, this is just what I do.
This is my kind of thing.
I thought that was so fucking good.
Yeah, Is there a Wonder Woman sequel in development? I'm hoping.
Yeah, definitely. We've had the Wonder Woman movie 1, and the next one's coming out it's set in 1980.
Oh, so, yeah, that's nice. There's like some cool Oh, fantastic.
It's going to be really good. I'm really excited for that film. But
so they beat Doomsday. Superman gets the Kryptonite Spear, stabs it into Doomsday, and at the same time, Doomsday stabs Superman through the heart with one of his spikes.
Let's just acknowledge. I've said acknowledge like a million times during this episode.
Oh, the fucking death of Superman shit.
But it would have made more sense to give Wonder Woman the spear, but on a story aspect, on a story side where you want to have the Superman plotline go through.
Superman trying to make amends for some of the poor decisions he made throughout the movie.
And it's a thing that could destroy him. It's a thing that could kill him, and he just decides to take it into himself, and he decides to use it against somebody else. So it's a cool scene. He gives himself, he sacrifices himself for the world to kill Doomsday, and he dies. He does. So that's a bit of a bummer. Amy Adams is great, but kind of a shitty thing. They
set up Justice League really hard. And then the movie meanders.
I have random tidbits here,
nice. Random tidbits.
So that there's that, like, general guy that Amy Lois Lane is trying to communicate.
Oh, with. Yeah, the guy's like, I'm not gonna. That exposes it's a LexCorp metal, but it's like, I'm not gonna risk my job.
Yeah, he's like, I got a job. I like my life. Yeah, all that. Yeah. He's got that young woman who's, like, really short, and she's with him all the time. Do you remember her? Yeah, that's. Okay, well, fuck you. But either way, she's in a lot of scenes in the film. That's Carol Ferris. So if anybody who's in the comic books realized that's Green Lantern Hal Jordan's girlfriend. She runs the Ferris airfields. She's got like whatever. She's a big character. And she's pretty important in her own right. And I thought it was kind of weird because this is a total tangent. It has nothing to do with Superman, but it's something I just wanted to say.
Right.
It's weird that we have a Carol Ferris and a Carol Danvers in Marvel Comics. So
isn't there a lot of shit like that?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of characters that mimic each other, but I never noticed this one until recently. So we have Carol Danvers, who plays Miss Marvel, and then we have Carol Ferris, who plays Star Sapphire. So they're both cosmically powered superheroes that have a star insignia, and their boyfriends were originally main superheroes in their own right. So I just thought that was kind of a cool connection that I never noticed before. So, you know.
I'm going to put that one in my neat folder.
Yeah, you don't have a neat folder. You're an asshole. So, fuck you, Nick. So, yeah, anyway, let's the end of the film. This is taking so goddamn long, and almost as long as the movie itself. But
they never made a sequel. They canceled Justice League immediately, and the world.
So I thought there was an interesting scene where Batman, at the funeral of Superman, acknowledges the fact that he fucked up, and he must change who he is to honor the memory of Superman. And like Superman sacrificed himself to save the world, and he has to keep hope alive. He has to be the hero that the world.
Good job, Batman.
And then we get to Justice, but yeah,
it was a dog shit. Like, the action scenes were good. That 30 minutes of action did not make up for the other 2.5 hours of shitty plot development and garbage character decisions and just the whole 9 yards. Fucking absolute dog shit.
Wow. So that moment when you and I watched that movie in the theater when it came out, you lied to me. You didn't.
I don't
you didn't
remember
enjoy
that
it. You didn't enjoy it at all.
I might have enjoyed it at theaters. It's right in like the theater or whatever, because it ended on that action scene, and I was just like pumped up from seeing that at the end of the movie. But upon like rewatching this and I mean, I don't know. Like the first 2 hours of this movie are indefensible to me. Like there's so many poor scenes that just don't make sense, and
there's a lot that just doesn't need to be in there. But okay,
yeah, and like, stuff that is in there could have been done way better for the most part.
Okay, I like the movie for what it is. It's not great. You hate the movie. That's fine. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion. Right. I think the movie, as you're saying,
me.
Shut up, Nick. I'm trying to do this right, but
right.
I feel like the movie could have been done a lot better. Cut down a lot of the shit in the first 2 hours. If they try to keep it as minimum as possible, and they focused heavily on the action scenes and all that stuff, it would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been phenomenal. So, the end of the day, I still like the movie. I think it's fun. And you dislike the movie, as I've taken?
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good movie. If you want to watch this movie, don't. If you really want to watch this movie, skip to the last 30 minutes, because that's when the good shit happens.
True that. I'll be honest. Yeah, you can probably just read up on the other shit and watch the cool action scenes.
100%.
So, is there anything else you wanted to say? Is there anything you want to throw into this film review that is taking us
the only good part
of
this movie is Wonder Woman and the following Wonder Woman movie that came out.
Wonder Woman is so good.
Fantastic.
That fucking guitar riff. I remember sitting next to you in the theater, and that shit started to happen, and I was just like, oh my god, I love this.
Some good shit, dude.
I love this so much. Because they're punching each other, people are flying through buildings, it's so much shit happening at once, but to me that's Superman, that's Wonder Woman, that's these godlike people that have this amazing power that are just whipping each other around. And also, I don't like this in any movie, but when you have this super powerful being and they just pick up the main character and they throw them, like that seems like a dumb idea. Just crack their neck. Just rip them to pieces. Just kill them. Like, don't just throw them into a building. Like,
I mean, I don't know. That just feels like super comic booky to me. I'm like, it's not like a suspension of disbelief thing to me. Like, yeah, I mean, in a real fight, obviously that wouldn't be what you would do.
You would just kill your opponent. Like, I don't
it
know,
happens so many
opponent.
times and so many things. So I just kind of ignore it. I guess I never really thought about it too much.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm kind of sad about is that I think Doomsday is the best Superman villain, and to see him get relegated to kind of like the last 30 minutes is kind of.
Why do you think he's the best Superman?
I just think he's the coolest. And I mean, like, I don't read a lot of the comics and shit.
Mm.
I just think he's the coolest fucking dude. Like, he's super fucking strong. He's spiky. He's a spiky gray man.
Because he can
that's
go
really strong.
The Superman?
I guess, yeah. Like, Brainiac seems kind of lame to me.
Brainiac
I don't know a lot of Superman villains. There's like Lex Luthor's Brainiac.
There's Mxyzptlk.
Sure, that, yeah, him. I don't think Superman's villains are overly strong in general. I mean, Zod is good, but Doomsday seemed like the absolute coolest to me.
He is. He's a pretty tough guy, and he should have got more
screen time. Yeah, just like the last 30 minutes. Yeah. But.
So basically, I love the movie. Nick hated the movie.
Rank it. Give it a number. Out of 10.
Number? I don't like
number out of 10. A number out of 10. How are we gonna get on Metacritic if you don't give it a number out of 10?
I don't give a shit about Metacritic can suck my dick. Out of 10, I would give it a 7.5 or an 8.
Wow, that high, huh?
Yeah. What would you give it?
Infinity War? What would you give it Infinity War?
Don't do this.
Well,
Don't do this, Nick. You're gonna see the facade crackling through me. Infinity War, I'd give it 9.
So you think that one to two numbers worse is Batman vs Superman compared to Infinity War?
I guess for me.
Huh. I mean, I would give it like a 4.5 or a 5.
I know, because you're a garbage human being.
4.5 to 5.5.
Garbage, but
I mean, Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes and most
I don't give a shit about that.
with me. So
to me, it's what I like and what I don't like.
So you enjoyed most of the movie then?
I did.
So the first 2 hours of the movie you thought was good. You enjoyed watching it.
It wasn't amazing, but it was fun.
You enjoyed watching it.
I did.
Wow. Okay. Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you. All right. So, anything else you want to say?
That's all I got, dude. It's a movie. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been half cut, so I just want to acknowledge that this is possibly a new segment that we're going to be doing once or twice a month, something like that. We're going to be doing. I do want
we're workshopping shit. It's episode 5. We're still feeling shit out.
We're trying to figure out what we're doing with this.
Might be some versus stuff. Might be some overarching, look at a more in-depth look at one thing. Who knows?
Might be a commentary on a particular film while we're watching it, kind of thing. That could be
You'll
fun.
get what we feed you.
Yeah, you'll get it, you peasants.
Pretend we've got the Red Jolly Rancher and we're pushing into your little old man mouth.
Yeah, that's...
And it's cherry flavor, which is the best.
Gross. Actually, I like cherry. But either way, I do want to say at the end of each episode that thank you for Peter or Bung Dilly on Instagram for giving us our amazing, awesome guitar riff for the intro of our podcast episode here for Half Cut. Nick, is there anything else you want to state? Anything where the fans can find you? Anything you want to plug?
No, I'm not a shill.
All right, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That answered really well. Thank you guys for checking out. This has been a kick-ass episode of Half Cut. Check it out later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.